Hello. What a time.
I didn't hear any of the context.
No, that's a good thing.
Good.
For the best.
Well, welcome out to episode 20, everybody. Good to see you.
Woo!
We are one Brizzy down. She is on her way to Ren Fair, so she cannot make it for today. But it does sound fun.
It's because they didn't have the internet in Renaissance
It's true,
time.
yeah. It would be
so
fell up here.
She has to get in
joined.
character, yeah.
Yeah, we need to make sure that she actually wanted to come. She could make it, but we told her no.
Hold on. Can we talk about how 55% of people say, I'm going to roll the first nat one?
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, you got the
shit.
majority.
Either really hot or really bad.
I feel like
So
I
you
do
don't
feel
have in
like we
between.
should take a moment to acknowledge to chat, just so they realize game checks, y'all, to see who you're voting on. He
Yeah.
looks.
He's
So
invested.
just be aware.
I forget that Twitch polls are a thing, so I never look.
Don't.
I
It's
mean-
always in or not in my favor.
Yeah. Just don't prove them right. Just don't prove. Roll good today.
Roll good.
Just don't roll. That's what I do. What?
That's
I'd
true.
be like, roll a charisma
Yeah.
check. I don't. Never mind.
One-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could be like,
mind.
that guy seems suspicious, but I'm not going to make the insight. Yeah, it's.
I'm
just going to look at everyone to see
Yeah.
if they'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
We all just spend the whole time looking at Tomato, like, can you go to your constellation and then you make the check?
It's gonna
Willoughby,
be rough now that
Willoughby, how do you feel about
it's not permanent anymore again,
That's
dude. It's
true.
gonna be fucking
Oh, that's
rough.
right.
We don't have it all the time.
Damn it.
Well,
Yeah,
welcome
you're
out.
right.
We are. This is episode 20, and you guys had just finished up in the dream. If anyone has anything they want to shout out before we get started, otherwise we'll get right into things because we're already quarter past the hour.
Nope.
No.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's go. Then who would like to read the recap?
I think I
Thanks
did it.
for
Did I do it
volunteering,
last
LG.
week? Yeah. Thanks, LG.
Last week.
I did do it last week.
LG, thanks for volunteering. I thought that's what
I'll
that
see
cost
what
was.
I
I
do.
actually
Very
don't mind.
kind.
I'll do it.
It's very kind of you.
It's
OG.
very cool of you.
Last we left off, we were deep within the dream realm of Ragnar, facing off against him. We defeated him by exploiting his weaknesses, because we're fucking smart and real cool. And we used them to transform him from his near impenetrable form into that of a mere mortal. Once we awoke from the dream, we rushed to meet Idna in the tavern. We knew she was one of the Norns, hiding her identity. She explained to us that she rid herself, along with her sisters, of their responsibility, something I would like to do IRL all the time, so as not to be tempted to change fate. We learned of the spiral thickets southwest of the route to Alfheim, which contained droplets from the pools of wisdom. There, we might be able to find a means of hunting down the only accessible divination witches that might know the reason of the fate that the fates had lost their powers. And off we go.
So,
Right.
you had just kind of started packing your things to leave Svepir. And you can see the difference as you've kind of finished up the conversation with both Ashlar and also Idna. All of the people returning from the dream, returning to their families. You put Svepir behind you and make onto the road. Unless there was anything else you wanted to do whilst you were there.
Nothing for me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Then your small party meanders out of the town. And which direction do you want to head?
North. Just kidding.
Just go make sure, just in case you're like,
I guess towards the route first makes sense.
Yeah.
I think so.
We're going southwest of it, right, for
Yep.
the spiral
The
thickets,
thickets.
but going to
Yeah.
the route's probably the easiest
Oh.
landmark.
In my disaster of having a very messy room, I can't find my notebook with all of my mistletoe notes in it.
Busted. You're gonna have to wing it now.
today's a bad day for
no.
Juno.
Yeah, I have no knowledge.
Yeah, I think
So where were we at?
route to Alfheim.
Yeah, because that's where we were headed
out
anyways.
Alfheim,
At least
yeah.
we'll follow through with it.
And
Hey
then
guys,
the
it's
thickets
really
on the
worked
way,
out.
isn't
We
it?
wanted to go to Alfheim, and like the thicket is right there, right? We could just do everything in that area at once.
That seems to be a common occurrence, that everywhere we intend on going, there's another thing there that we needed.
It's weird how that works out.
When you think about it, we were going to Alfheim because we thought we could go to Asgard, but then we found out we couldn't go to Asgard anymore. So really, our destination of Alfheim switched pretty quickly to Svepir, and now we're not technically going to Alfheim either. We're actually going to be going around the
like
world.
adjacent. Like Alfheim adjacent. If there's something cool going on, we could like pop in.
Adjacent places.
We just check it out. Like, what if there's a cool festival or like a Renaissance kind of fair?
Sure.
Sure. It's not like Willoughby's dying or anything.
Wait, did we pick up Zbelly from the stable? No, we left him.
Oh, absolutely, we did.
Yeah, I'm going to assume you didn't leave behind the horse.
No.
That's an easy DM gotcha when you look for
You guys didn't say you went and got your horse?
So actually, you go back there and they've actually eaten it already, so it's gone.
Sorry. I'll pay better attention next time.
The Pelly is live and well and with you.
Fucking worst.
It's not a personal mark.
The horse means a lot to it. And you begin heading
We've all known.
southwest.
I think we've all known a DM like that at some point in our lives.
The
Or I've
gotcha
heard
DM.
other people who have had it. Yeah.
DM horror
Right.
stories.
I'm so clever.
The road heading southwest through the kind of the greater woodland that surrounds the route of Alfheim is beautiful and quiet outside of the sounds of nature. You walk mostly undisturbed for the majority of the path. The occasional time where you have to kind of slip around where the path hasn't been really well maintained, growths of woodland kind of bursting through it. It does seem like a kind of portion of the world which might get fixed up every few years or so by passers-by, but voluntary mostly. The woodlands is a calm, peaceful journey heading southwest towards Alfheim. Occasionally you would pass people on the road. One such occasion, you might catch the eye of a party of about 12 people. As you're heading southwest, about an hour into your journey, a series of kind of hooded and cloaked men and women wandering by, no young with them. One of them is openly not wearing a hood or cloak and wears kind of slightly finer silks, but a lot of fur thrown over. Definitely kind of, used to, or someone who's not as used to the cold, maybe. They wear kind of small glasses that rest on the end of their nose, and they're almost attached, very, very small ones, like a librarian, or someone who might spend a lot of time around maps or a cute kind of craft of some sort. And as they kind of wander along the road nearby, you see a group of them just kind of looking around, almost like 11 mercenaries in this man. And he stops as he kind of sees you in the distance and kind of shifts his attention and walks towards you. As he draws closer, you can see his hair is withering down the middle, very thin. You mostly can kind of see his scalp below through the few strands that show there. Otherwise, it's quite thick and bushy around the sides and back, with very thick black eyebrows that come down, almost like slugs over his eyes that kind of curl around to the side. Well-maintained face, though, kind of clean-shaven, probably in his 40s, early 50s. And as he steps over, he kind of wraps himself up a little bit hard and goes, "Good evening there." Or morning. Are you traveling somewhere?
Yes. I mean, what else would we be doing out here on the road?
I just meant somewhere maybe far. I'm curious about this place. It's the first time I've traveled through here. A few of the people wander up behind him, kind of stand behind him.
Well, I'm afraid. Oh.
No. Go ahead.
You go. No, it's fine.
We're seeking sights of unimaginable beauty, which is plentiful here.
It is.
What are you seeking?
Research mostly. We're just traveling.
Oh no.
Research, you say? What are you researching?
Why did you have to say it?
Yep.
What? I feel it's learning. It's exciting. What?
Oh.
I'm just researching all about this, the southern parts of this land. I come from far up in the north.
Are you like, are you researching literally what do you like? You like to make
Everything.
a map? You want to like tell stories? You just want to know every
No, I
single
like
thing you
to-
can about?
I like to write books on it. Yeah, books mostly.
Oh,
I come all the way
Oh.
north in Ganvik. So,
oh.
Gandvik.
Yes.
Why does that ring a bell?
Can
If
I?
only my bloody notes were here.
Can I take a look at what their current state of being is like? And I mean that as in like, is there mud on their boots? Does it look like their clothing is worn or well kempt?
You want to Sherlock Holmes this shit?
Not even, because Sherlock Holmes is trying to find their intent. I want to see how prepared these people are to be in a wilderness from not a perspective of someone investigating, but from someone who's experienced it. Like, does it?
Like, are
does
these
it?
scholars that threw themselves out here for,
Right.
like,
Yes.
just for
Roll-
research and don't know anything about it?
a perception check.
Yeah, because if they're really well off, that seems more concerning. 15.
You can see they definitely tracked mud across the bottoms of their cloaks. You can see their boots pretty muddy. The researcher seems to be the cleanest of them all. The head one right at the front. All of the
Oh, he's
others in
got
their hoods and their cloaks and whatnot are a little bit more worn on their clothing. Their cloaks have definitely been kind of brustled through bushes, caught twigs on the way, caught mud along the way. So definitely
a wizard?
majority. No, I don't know a thing about magic.
Oh,
So you're from Gandavik, you said?
Ganvik, we're all from Ganvik.
Oh, that's exciting. Are you all doing research? Like, do you research stuff too? Points out one of the other
You
people.
point to one of them, just nod the head to you. I look to the side. They're quieter than I am. I'm the writer. They mostly, some of them are guards, some of them procuring the research as well.
We can't see their faces, right?
A few of them,
Okay.
kind of messy hair. Some of them have grizzles. Some of them very kind of tied up hair, mostly short hair though.
Men and women?
Men and women.
Are they all the same race?
Yes, they all seem to be human.
That seems weirder to me.
So where are you coming from right now? Like, are we going the same way as them, or like
They're
we
coming
are,
up from the south.
All right.
Southern
We're
road.
like, all right. So where are you coming from? Maybe we're going to that place. You could tell us something cool about it.
Yes, we're actually just coming from Holtigal, southwest.
Oh, how was it? Like,
Great.
good?
It was a beautiful, beautiful bit of land. Beautiful bit of land. What, have you got any news for the road? Any stories? Where about
That's
you from?
far as hell.
he did say he came from far to the north. But yeah,
That's to the
this
south.
guy still sus. Yeah, absolutely.
Did he say he came from far? He came from far to the north?
originated from far to the north. I think they're
Yeah.
like traveling around.
Okay.
That's like really far from where you like from Ghent. Would you just been like traveling for a really long time?
Yep, months now. Months.
You like just walk everywhere?
We had horses briefly.
Oh. Well, we
Oh,
just have the one.
Did you lose them in some unfortunate business, or just decided not to have them anymore?
Unfortunate business, I'm afraid.
Uh,
Running with some Jotun.
Oh.
oh, really?
Cool.
I've heard much about these Jotun.
You're from Mesogaia.
I am? Yes, I am from Atra, this place in Esogaya.
Deserter?
Never a soldier, I'm afraid, so nothing to really desert. I'm a researcher myself, I suppose. We called ourselves scholars, philosopher.
All right. Yes, I
But
know
yes,
philosophy and the philosophers of Athra.
Oh, you do?
Word reaches Ganvik often.
Oh,
Shit. Do you like philosophy? You want to like ask some questions of Juno? She could
side.
ask you some questions.
Sure. I can discuss philosophy. That'd be fine.
Yeah, what do you
Well-
think is the meaning of life then?
I'll just look at
Meaning of life.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like the
He's just
basic
gonna
one everyone
slowly
asks,
start, like,
right?
Sitting down, and, like finding like a.
I was going to say, philosophy tends to be quite a lengthy discussion, Lena. If we're going to have that discussion, it may be better on the road if we're heading in the same
I
direction.
don't know. I just felt like go for the big one, right?
What he kind of scans your group. What are you as a group? You say you're not soldiers?
Monster
No.
hunters.
Ah,
My camera froze. Ignore that.
it's okay.
It's fine.
Took it in his mind. Monster hunters. All right. You heard any news we should know across the road?
Well, I don't know if you heard about any monsters back that way. We can like go towards.
No monsters, I'm afraid. Quiet
Oh.
roads. Are you? You're not involved
Are
in the
we-
war in any way?
Like fighting it?
Yes.
We don't
Or-
know.
Maybe know anything about it.
Well, there's a war. I don't know if you know that.
I know.
Uh,
It's,
no, I'm joking. That was a joke. I figured you knew about it because you said the war, right? No, we're not really part of it. Are you?
no. Interested in learning more about it, though.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
is that
just
something
going
that
to
takes
know.
your field of study?
It is primarily, yeah. War research is a very interesting subject.
Mm. What sort of things do you research in a war? War is a pretty broad topic. What sort of things do you actually specifically look into? Or is it everything and anything?
Technology, weaponry,
Oh,
Shit.
dangers, strategy, all sorts, really.
oh, very learned.
Do you think you're going to like try to go to Mesgaya or something to find out more
I couldn't
about the
possibly
war?
go to Mesogata. Huh?
Why not?
It's a very dangerous place to go.
Looks at Juno and Draven.
It's. I mean, I don't know about. I don't know about everywhere in Mesogaya. There's many places which are very lovely and very welcoming, even for folks from different places. But you're definitely right. There are definitely some places, much like here, that are quite dangerous.
Didn't you live on an island with a bunch of researchers?
No, in the city, Atra. No. The academia is in the city itself. But yes, I mean, I grew up in a pretty safe, lovely place. Yes, Atra is beautiful, wonderful place. But that's not something of a unusual place in Mesogaya, I think. If you end up in some of the other places, definitely won't be a very warm welcome. What was your name?
I'm Nastor.
Nastor. Have I ever heard of a Nastor? So the guy says he writes books. Like, I don't know, maybe I've read a book of his or something.
Roll a history check.
Okay.
I want to look at Willoughby and say, I'm just going to say out loud, let's see if we can watch the movements of the guards to see if they themselves are trustworthy. And I'm basically trying to trigger if we can insight check them.
Okay.
Yeah, Willoughby will nod, and I think kind of quietly Dragon Constellation, but in a way where he's gonna sit down and make it kind of look like he's like doing some weird Kvistier channeling on like a plant or something, just so these guys don't
And
panic.
I'll just give you advantage instead. Also, I'll help instead of rolling it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got like agave on my history
Say,
check.
no, say that number, Mark. I want the people to know.
Yeah.
It was a it was a natural one. I would say it was a natural one.
You know,
You haven't heard
Sarah,
of
I would
I-
say it was.
I bet on myself too.
That's true. It was the first nat one.
Me. Addled by the dream realm. That I can't feel anymore.
If you're doing this insight check with advantage, you can go ahead and do it.
Okay. So I'm insight checking the guards, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards. Yeah.
That was a nat 1. That is a 15.
A 15?
We're
wait,
doing
no,
great.
Yeah. Wait, no, it'd be an 18. Yeah, it'd be an 18 because I default to 10.
Dragon. Yeah.
So it's an 18 is my minimum now.
Okay. I'm gonna
Nice.
message you something.
Strong.
Glad I asked. Hate that I asked.
So, Nestor, your name is like, what kind of books have you wrote? If I go to a library or something, could I find them?
Just mostly just kind of research on various creatures and various
Oh.
portions
Like
of this war. Want to make sure that, we understand the goings-ins and offs of mortals and how they fit into everything.
Oh, you want? Oh,
Oh, I mean, so you're not interested in the gods' actions in these wars? I mean, it seems that would be a pretty important factor of this kind of research, right?
Well, yes, but it's mostly mortals fighting other mortals at the base of it. I mean, you can research all the strategies of the gods, and it matters very little. But
Do any of them carry symbols of the gods on them, like rings, necklaces that have any of the symbols?
what a perception
Even
check.
the guards. Okay. Figured out how to play your game, Joe.
If Draven's
23.
helping me, and we're both like over in the corner, basically looking at things quietly.
But these guys are sus. I don't trust these
I'm
guys.
just gonna help Draven
Okay,
with this as well.
go ahead and have advantage.
23, 22. Let's go. Only bet on Draven for success. You learn.
it's canon. Sorry.
You learn
Uh,
today.
Cannon.
Not a single ring, nothing that indicates the gods. Anyway,
That also, he's gonna quietly mention that to Willoughby, which also
Nestor.
seems suspicious.
In
Yes.
like all the research you've been doing, right, about the war and stuff, I'm interested to like hear your viewpoint on what do you think, like what started it even?
oh, I don't have an opinion on it.
Oh, you don't like hear anything, or don't? That's not
I hear
part you're
rumors.
focusing
I
on.
just think the rumors and you know the common tellings of tales of the workings of the gods seem a little bit beyond me. If I was to go and write anything down as my theory, it might be taken as fact, and that would be a problem. I prefer to
So,
think about
like-
the facts and find out everything that I
All
can
right.
that way.
Well, what kind of like? Well, then what? I feel like all I ever hear about the war is like rumors and stuff. So how do you know what is like the fact and what is not? How can you tell what even you could
Indeed.
like? What are you going to write about at this point? What do you know for certain?
Mostly just the comings and goings of southern Midgard, and learning about places like Berkel and Holtagor and how their culture changes and how they establish themselves and their goings on through this war. It's mostly just kind of open research that I'm. But now that it takes a lot of traveling because you have to go straight to these places. You can't half-arse it, if you will.
Sure.
Of course.
So,
Tell
like,
me
you're
about.
interested-
You've asked many questions. How about I ask you some questions?
While they're
Sure, go ahead.
continuing to exchange, Willie's gonna nudge Draven like quietly. Is gonna point at one of the mercenaries who has a clasp, a blue handkerchief with a clasp on it that looks very similar to one that Juno had.
It's really interesting. I like to imagine that as Juno and Lena are asking all these questions, like that is like the tactic that like they employ. That like whenever we have like these suspicious things that
Absolutely.
Willoughby
Lena
and
100% is going to just
Yeah.
keep people talking while everyone else figures out what's going on.
yeah, well, especially like Willoughby and Draven, who I think tend to be the ones who are like actually clued in on like these are bad dudes, whereas like Juno's just like a naive kid, and then Lena's like I'll talk to fucking anybody.
Lena doesn't
like-
trust anyone, but also she'll talk to anybody to see what everyone else can figure out.
Yeah.
So you want to ask us some question? Go ahead. You can
Sure,
ask us
go ahead.
questions.
Whereabouts are you from? He looks straight towards you, Lena.
Oh, well, I'm not from around here. I don't know if you could like guess that. I'm more up by shit. Actually, OLG forgot where Lena's from. Let me look at the map and I will tell you in a moment.
It was a class just like the one that Juno had.
The one that Juno has on her toga.
That's
You know,
concerning because they're from.
do you know kind of like Fyrstvettler and Ifrvatten, like up in that area?
I've not really heard much about it. Is it involved in the war at all?
I mean, don't you think that's a weird question though? And I kind of look at Juno and then just kind of everybody else. You know, isn't that weird? Because I feel like almost everything is now involved in the war, right? Like, I don't think anyone's going to be able to get away from. It's going to be like far-reaching, don't you think?
Is it? I suppose. I feel like some
you don't
places
think
might.
so?
Well, some towns and villages might not get involved. They might.
Do you
go
think you
unseen.
could just not get involved in the war though? Like, doesn't it happen around everyone, and
I
you
think-
can't?
The kid trying to stamp on ants is always going to miss a few.
All right.
It's an
Maybe.
interesting question, though. I mean, yes, how does one avoid a war that involves so much. Even if it is men and women who will be doing the fighting, this is a war that has been begun by the very gods themselves. It does seem like it will be a difficult one for everyone to avoid. I feel that this will eventually, something in some small way, everyone's lives will be affected by this, even if it is not the most obvious means, even if they are not necessarily drawn to fight. Farms will need to produce more wheat, and that wheat will need to be sent, and many things will affect the war, surely.
Not wrong.
Oh wait, is like Holtegar and all of that? Are they like, is there war stuff happening there? Like,
Holtegar has very little interest in the Great War. As a
like
nation.
they don't care, or they just are not a part of it?
It is a conversation that has kind of dropped into the background of the world there. They got on with their lives.
Interesting. Huh. I feel like it's all I hear about. I don't know.
Well, probably
Was
from
there anything
coastal
else you wanted
towns.
to ask? I love to engage in debates and questions, so
She
if there's
really
anything
does.
you...
Do you believe in the gods?
Of course. Of course.
Like all of them.
Can I insight his like how he answered that very quickly
Yeah, go
and
for it.
very confident?
Yes, I love
Do you
the
have
gods!
like a favorite one, or do you like them all? Do you like?
Nice.
Unless Draven's helping me, it's a 20.
I mean, I'd still, I don't know. It's close. Whatever. What do you say, Joe?
It was a
First off, keep
rehearsed
leaning up.
kind of answer. You know, it's
Yeah.
like immediately kind of a defensive answer.
Like,
Do you
yes,
favor-
I'm used to telling people.
Do you favor Mesogaian gods and Midgardian gods?
Oh, Midgardian, of course. But the
Of course.
Mesogaian gods are fascinating. They
Which
treat their
ones?
people very well.
Is there any that you are purely of interest, it seems, that you are particularly fond of, that you find fascinating?
Oh, the Mesogaian ones? I don't really know their names well.
Well, or the Midgardian ones,
Oh,
because
what-
you know them better, right? What's your favorite one here?
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Odin.
Hmm.
Odin is my favorite to hear of, but of course I would never pick between the gods.
Do you care for Hypnos at all?
Of course.
Oh, so you are a fan of Hypnos?
The gods are to be respected.
As
Like all of them, though. Like, don't you even think there's one that's kind of shitty?
Okay, you're leading into this probably too hard.
It's okay if you don't. It's like sometimes I get mad at them though, and I think one of them
One of
might
the gods
be
places a
shitty.
hand on his shoulder, and she kind of steps forward. She's got kind of reddish brown hair, and she just kind of pulls down her head and says, "We should get going. We've got a long journey ahead of us. We're just heading north with the Burka, so."
They're going to Burka. That's cool.
Can I use Divine Sense just to confirm that all of them are
Yeah.
not celestial fiend
Human.
or undead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you kind of radiate it off, they're all humanoid.
Well, before anyone goes anywhere, we might as well. I can't help but notice that one of you has something very similar to our friend Juno here. Perhaps
Oh,
you
shit,
two
what?
Oh,
know each
really?
other. Have something
What?
in common.
And
What
Wilbur's
was
gonna
that?
walk straight up to the guard with the handkerchief.
A couple of them step a little bit closer. He looks at you and goes, looks down and quickly pushes it into his pocket.
Do I see it before he does that? Like, now that
Perception
Willoughby's
check.
kind of like pointed it out? Sure.
Also, question: do you know what he is? And I point to Willoughby.
Yes.
What is he?
Yes!
They are
Oh, that's a 20 on my perception there, Jay. Thank you.
of tree people. What would you roll, sorry?
20 on my perception.
Did he just
People.
call?
I literally say three people, and I look at Willoughby. You
Just say
can't
happen.
really call them.
3 people.
You shouldn't say three.
The woman looks at, all right, we're going to go. Keep walking.
There's,
everyone."
there's
The-
like above board. Gabe wants to say, there's no way if they're researchers from Midgard, they
Yeah.
shouldn't know.
They
They would know.
know
Yeah, they would absolutely know
what
that.
Feaster is.
Yeah.
100%. These are mercenaries from Mesogai.
Yeah. What was the symbol, by the way, Joe? I got a 20 on my perception. What was the actual thing? Like, I know Willoughby recognized
from
it, but
Athra.
is it like a
Symbol of Athra.
citizen's? Yeah, it's like a symbol of Athra
It's
citizen.
like almost like
citizen-
the Aspen symbol is almost like a quill that turns
Mhm.
into a piece of wheat.
Mhm.
And kind of midway through, it's like a bluish quill.
What's his does he sound Midgardian? Did that guard sound Midgardian? What kind of accents did they have?
It might be hard to say. The way that I do with accents across Midgard and Mesogaya is that because most people don't get out of their village area,
Sure.
a lot of them are going to blend together. So you wouldn't necessarily know if something is from North Midgard or from Mesogaya per se. A lot of those accents would blend together. He is speaking common. He's speaking the same tongue.
Okay. So you're going to Burka, huh? That's pretty cool. I haven't really been there in a really long time. You're gonna do the same thing, just gonna like
gonna touch
ask
it.
around.
I'm just gonna gesture to Willoughby and be like, the universal symbol of talking or
Ruby's going to do the universal symbol of big shrug. Like, like this is kind of a 50-50 coin flip. They're lying, but like I don't know to what extent we should be like, well, time to get into fighting again because you lied to us one time.
Is it worth
Yeah, and
calling
also
them out?
like, I mean, I was gonna say like, Joe, is there like for Atra, is there like a kind of like a national like
Gang sign.
phrase or like a thing that like we would say to each other kind of thing, or like something like, you know, something that you might say to each
Some
like another
philosophical
citizen?
greeting.
Yeah, or like a kind of like a like a kind of, you know, something that you might say to a fellow citizen
Yeah,
or
like a
something like that.
colloquialism or
Sure,
something.
Yeah.
sure.
Some sort.
I
You don't have to
imagine
make one
some-
up. You can just say like, you know, if there is one.
Yeah,
if you
no,
don't
I
wanna
imagine
make
there's one. I imagine it would probably be something along the lines of kind of like, together we do better, or something along those lines, because they're very much, they are the
Yeah.
most democratic of
unity
the
and-
people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I might just look at the guard who like put that away and kind of like raise an eyebrow, and then just maybe say like that phrase, like, you know, well, you know, we're better together than apart, and if you have business elsewhere, then so be it. I mean, seems like we have our way to go and you have yours, but I don't know why you're hiding who you are. I've not experienced any sort of difficulties here.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
Come on.
I wasn't intending to be persuasive, but I'll roll one because it'll be trash.
Isn't that how Juno works? Unintentionally persuasive.
Yeah.
Well, that's a. Oh no, I rolled it twice. I don't know why I did that. It was a 9 the first one.
No, it's a
Oh, no, that
No,
was
yeah, that's
perception.
perception. Yeah.
So it was a
That was your
15.
perception, yeah.
15. You see the guard, lady guard, kind of grabs his arm, and then he kind of brushes it. No, hold on.
Hello, friend.
They aren't soldiers. I mean, you're armed, but monster hunting makes sense. I've got 2 Mesogaians with them. You see the kind of guard look between
We're
You're-
him
friends.
and then all
It's
of you.
not. There's nothing weird.
You'll unless you're bringing trouble to us.
No. I lie, perhaps, but one for our own safety. We are researching. Well, I'm researching. They are soldiers. We come from Athra.
Oh shit.
I'll nod and just sort of like, you know, sort of like, not like I knew that, but like, good. I'm glad that we can be honest with each other, kind of thing. Like, oh, well, it's good to see some fellow countrymen and countrywomen with us here.
It is. Though
You trying to figure out what's going on, huh?
he looks towards the guy and says, "A limited amount." We are on behalf of Athra.
shit, you're like-
Scouting, if you will.
Got it.
Right, well, if you're going to be continuing to scout, you may want to pick up some better lingo than tree people.
Apologies.
Yeah.
We've mostly avoided interacting with people. Only recently
What
have I.
made you stop and say hello to us then?
Recently,
Like-
I've decided that we should try and hear the word of the common people. We can observe the army formations and whatnot, and hear rumors and tells. But my theory is that, probably like many people in Mesogaya, no one really wants the war to happen on the more common level.
No, nobody really wants it to happen.
And does anyone really? Well, no, that's not true. There will always be people
Yeah,
that want
is
war.
somebody going to want it to happen? Sure, the people who started it, right? But most people are, I think, in the same boat. They would like it to pass them by.
You see the
You'll
kind
find
of lady
people
guard
of
look
all
around.
kinds here.
Just make sure the road is safe. And a few of the guards kind of walk down both sides and kind of patrol around that way. Make sure if they can see anyone coming.
Are you really coming from Hotakar? Like that area?
We did. We passed through Hothgar, but not for long.
Has
Not
there been
for long.
anything on the road the way you've been coming? Anything to watch out for?
Nothing incredibly dangerous. Some attacks of creatures and whatnot. There are monsters. We didn't really pursue that though, and mostly just talks of. Strange. What I said about Hothgar is true. They've mostly forgotten about the war. Not forgotten necessarily, but it seems like they don't believe it's ever going to happen again down there.
Interesting.
You've got other things to worry about, I'm sure.
Most likely.
Huh.
But Mesogai is stirring.
Hmm. Even in Athra?
Astra currently has a lot of people who are pushing for. They want to have revenge for the invasion against northern Mesogai. People want to see us strike first before Midgard grows its strength and strikes back. It's a lot of paranoia leading to concern, leading to the beginnings of aggression, I suppose. It's my job to come here and understand the strategies of Midgardians to see if they are about to be on the warpath. Though,
It is better to be forewarned. At least perhaps you can help avoid some unnecessary conflicts. Misinformation is a very dangerous tool in these sort of times.
indeed.
Tell me, if you can, please, Nestor and friends, what of the academia and Heracles? Are they trying to work with the citizens there? Are they trying to help, prevent this sort of dramatic action? What is happening there? It's been a while since I've been back.
there was a great split, and
What?
they are of two minds. There are those who are for the war, those who are against it, and the confusion between that has definitely spread to the more general public. Athra is becoming more war ready than I can at least remember. It feels far more like our company in cities more than it does feel like Athra nowadays.
Have you
It's
been gone a
worrying.
long time?
In Athra, I was born there.
No, have you been gone a long time? Have
Oh,
you been
gone.
here for a long time? Yeah, sorry.
Probably about 6 months in total.
Well, how long have you been gone, Juno?
Not much different. Maybe 9, sort of around then. Maybe.
Imagine
Kind of
you
lose
don't
track.
get messages like we do, though. We have a
No. Do you have a
chain.
system?
We have a system. We have contacts
good.
across,
Good.
and he can get hit in the side. Sorry, I'm not really a soldier myself. I don't know which information necessarily I have to keep hidden. And she looks across all of you and says,
Please, ma'am. I won't ask your name. I know that you're trying to be secretive here, but if I wanted to send a message back home, is there anyone you know that I could go to, perhaps?
cannot risk giving away some
I
of our
understand.
people, but
Oh.
she looks to the side and looks at you. If you are cut off so far from home, I do not mind taking a message and passing it across for you.
Thank you. That would be... If you would just give me a minute, I can write something down
course.
for you. Yeah, Juno will just go off and write a really quick note, which I will probably write to you in a minute.
That's fine.
It won't be anything super important. It's literally going to be a letter to family.
Dear
It's
Mom
gonna,
and Dad.
yeah, it's literally going to be like, hey, I'm alive, I'm okay.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
You see, whilst you're writing the letter, Nestor kind of looks across the rest of you and says, For those of you who are from here, do you think you know your gods better than we do? Do you think they would win?
I feel like in order to say that, I'd have to know more about your gods. The only times I've seen any of the gods really has been in festivals and parties and the like, where they're all drinking together, having a good time. And in those situations, I would say Asgard's probably got Olympus beat. But that's just in the drinking more than anything.
You don't know Dionysus. Well,
That's interesting, though, right? Like, if we have a god of war, and you have a god of war, right? We have a god of whatever, you have a god of whatever. Like, are they evenly matched? Because they're kind of aspects of, a different aspect of the same thing?
No,
I guess who will know?
because some gods of war will cheat.
which ones do you mean?
Doesn't matter.
I've noticed this, though, since I've been here. The relationship between mortals and their gods is different, but the resolution is the same. Fearful respect, but also a lot of misunderstanding. I do expect the war to be fully in effect within a year. Maybe
You
sooner.
think that soon?
I think sooner, really.
That is a shame.
It is.
It would be nice if you could head it off. It wouldn't happen.
I mean, we could do that. That's part of the plan. My plan, anyway.
Stop the war?
Yes.
You might say we are also researching.
Well, I hope your research goes well.
So do we.
Well, if we're heading past, what is it called again? Alfheim. We tried to go through to see another realm. Locked off. Even wars spread into there.
Like
Entire-
all of Alfheim was locked off?
They're blocking off the route for many travelers. Alfheim is in a state of warfare, apparently. I'm not sure if any gods are involved, but a lot of infighting there. I couldn't imagine traveling through a route.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, you've done it.
Yes. A couple times, yes.
We're stationed out here for another 3 weeks before we have to start heading back to Firstvella. You see the guard kind of look out towards him. I think you've spoken enough. I just want to say that I hope that your research is quick, efficient, and I hope the next time we return here, it is not with sword in hand.
I hope so too.
Thank you. I would not have, if you hadn't stopped to talk to us, I wouldn't have had a chance to give this, and I'll hand over the note to the guard lady.
Rolls it up and just puts it straight into her pocket.
A suggestion. Oh, God. Mark, did you have it?
No, sorry, no. I think it was triggering. I wasn't going to say anything. That's okay.
A suggestion.
Yes.
Pick a lesser god than Zeus. Excuse me, Odin.
She kind of leans forward and says, I think we'll probably be avoiding people again.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. And from one soldier to another, if you are not seen, that makes you a stranger. And as you saw us, dangerous, it was because we were strangers. All those people who, when you show up, praising Odin, they're not going to believe you. But the person at the market, who you bought fresh food from, and talked about how Loki might be up to mischief,
I wink.
that person will vouch for you.
Appreciate the advice.
It works. Trust me.
Just use someone like Balder or something. Everyone likes that guy.
Actually, Balder's a great one. Everyone loves him.
Everyone
Balder.
likes Balder.
Like, literally, it's like his whole deal. Everybody loves him.
Everyone likes
All right, Balder.
Balder, yes.
Okay. Balder's my
You
favorite.
don't even need a reason because literally everyone loves him. So people are like, why do you love him? You're like, everybody does,
But
right? And they'll be
why
like,
do you
yeah, I
love him?
know, so do I. Nobody
That's
knows, we
weird.
just do. It's like the thing.
Oh.
Let's go to curse.
I wish you luck in your research, and I hope that through any means war can be avoided. We come from a city of thinkers and a city of people that can achieve great things. I like to think that hitting each other with sticks and swords is the last option, I would like to imagine.
I did the same. I think it's the idea of hitting this world with those sticks and swords that has been thrown into the mix that is not as inconceivable. But there is hope. As I said, Midgard does seem less focused on the war than we believed over there. Though they equally have the same thoughts that the Mesogaians are marching in hundreds of thousands. The confusion that will probably lead to much more death.
I think so.
Well, thank you for allowing us to be honest.
Thank you for
Stay
being
safe.
honest.
Be safe out there.
You too.
You see, she nudges them along, and then kind of whistles out to the three of the guards who wander back into the crowd, and they can begin walking around. She looks across all of you and just nods her head.
Nice.
Not
And
bad.
I continue going.
Law. War law.
Oh,
No,
for a
you
second
should have looked
there, we
like
were
a-
like this close to killing them. That was crazy.
Thank you for making the
feel
point
like-
about the bracelet, by the way, Willoughby. I would not have
Yep.
spotted that.
We should come up with better signals to each other. Like, I can keep people
I think the
talking,
shrug
but
worked.
like, do you know what I mean? Like, we need to have a slightly
Well,
better.
there is some. It's reasonable to say that most of us can speak to each other in our minds.
Oh shit, that's
So
true.
we
I
don't
could have
really
just
need
done that. Sorry.
signals more than we just need the couple.
Okay.
I can't
people
get
that can
everybody
speak
though
to
all at once.
But
So
you
like,
can be like, oh, I see a group of people over there. That I'm gonna talk to you in my mind, so we don't need to do. a
sometimes
signal.
you guys are just quiet though, and I don't know. Like, were you just being quiet because you're like, ugh, they're talking to people, and I hate people? Because Willoughby don't
trust
like really people.
anyone
Like,
at all. Ever.
I don't trust people either. I just want to talk to
Everyone
them
is
to find out
Loki.
what's going on.
Everyone
Not
is-
everyone can be
Oh,
Loki. That's
Willoughby.
not how
Every
it
single
works.
person's Loki until I confirm they're not Loki.
I
Have you
can trust they're
confirmed
not all Loki.
That we're not Loki?
Something that we should take away from
Every-
I
this.
wink again.
If there are scouts like that already here, there are significantly more dangerous people already here.
Mm-hmm.
And those few were not necessarily foolish, but if they had seen us as a threat, they would
have attacked first, right?
us immediately.
I also. Yes, it's very true. We should be careful.
I'm not worried about us. I think this war is going to start preemptively.
I know. I
They
think
said
that's what-
they said a year, assuming because they put the focus on Midgard. I don't believe that someone is going to cause a problem.
Somebody always causes a problem, right? There's already nobody knows what the other side is doing, and it's not even like don't know. It's so different now, right? Because before you were pissed at somebody, I don't know, the next town over, but you could see what they were doing, and now we can't see that. So everybody's thinking, oh, it's going to be worse. They're going to come at us more, and then I don't like it.
What cannot be seen is far greater than what we can see in front of us sometimes. We should be, but Draven's right. Especially if Atra is at this point where they are sending scouts and mobilizing the armies.
Yeah, is that
then
like usual for your city?
No, not at all. We are a city of. We have a great army and a great fleet, but we consider war to be our last option. Diplomacy, thinking, strategy. It's always at the forefront. If places like
disagree. The god of war I was talking about was Ares.
Ares is not of Atra. That is of what's the Sparta equivalent, Joe? Arcanos, I believe. Atra is we have the patron saint of Athena, goddess of wisdom, as our patron saint, and for that
So
is
you
my
have
concern.
sent people out to gather information to figure out the strategy. Then
maybe,
probably,
but.
huh?
From what he was saying, that they are mobilizing armies, and if the academia is also divided, if the academia is considering choosing war, then it is worse than I expected, and it means that places like what was it? Sorry, Akros.
Which one? Oh, Akros. Yeah.
Akros. If Akros is sending people here, then that is what I mean. Draven they will be dangerous people, and they are the ones that we should be worried about.
Sorry to interrupt. Is the Discord cool game like for any of you
It
guys?
got choppy for me too.
Okay. Just testing it quickly.
It is real choppy.
All right, let's try
I can flip a region.
Yeah, if you could just flip a region, I'll just move to this scene. Sorry to interrupt. It just getting me like I didn't want to miss what you had to say.
There we go. Try US
That
East.
seems better for me.
Hello.
Yeah, that seems better.
Hey.
Weird.
What's up,
Sorry.
US East? Good job.
That's me.
Thanks, Gabe. So,
Well, the only thing I have to say, if war is coming, if war is expected, I understand that different regions may have their purview, but do you believe that Athena would not, if nothing else, be expected to respect a call by Ares?
Yes.
War is the expectation.
If nothing else, I think she would go to war to make sure that there is at least one sensible voice amongst the gods. But yes, she would. But it is unusual for Atra to be this aggressive at this stage, is what I mean.
Judo and Draven, I have a question. You know how we were just talking you're talking about the Norns and they didn't really take calls from the gods, right? They were like, no, we're busy, don't come in all the time, which is kind of what I do when I'm at home. But how, so we know that the Fates are just fighting with each other, right? That's what they're going kind of mad and they can't figure out what's going on or whatever. So if there was disarray there, would the gods, I don't know what I'm trying to say, would that spur your gods into more action or quicker action, or would they be oh shit, we got to do something? Do you know what I mean? Could that have something to do with it, the ramping up?
I'm gonna have to defer to Joe on this one.
Roll a religion check, but with wisdom.
Oh. Do I have training in religion? I do. So that is, if I roll perception, it's the same bonus basically.
Okay.
So this perception roll will be the same, but it's just using that. 22 and Gabe.
23, technically, if we're using the
Ooh.
wisdom bonus. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
The gods definitely of Mistletoe definitely interact with the Fates a lot more. When they play their games of Mistletoe, they call it the theater. of mortals. They like to test mortals, and when they do
Look
so,
down from above and look at the game pieces moving around.
exactly, and they very much the middle ground to that is the fates getting involved and pushing things into their way. So a Hydra on the road or a Cyclops running into them is very much the fates forcing that entrance. So it's more the gods will kind of almost put in like an application of, we want to test this person, do this for us. You know, use it along. They can do it themselves, but they like to say, test the fates of this person. So it's probably more likely that the Mesogaian gods will find out beforehand if they don't already know.
Yeah. I will relay that information, but I will not repeat it as Joe just said it. I mean, this is all very interesting, but it doesn't change what we need to do. It's something we should be aware of, but we still need to figure out what's happening here and what's happening with the fates and the gods and everything else. And also, actually, I don't even know what is necessarily. We're going to go ask these questions. What questions do we even want to ask? What is it that we're trying to do?
How many questions do we have again?
5, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. We had one for each of us, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So she said she was present, right? So we have to.
It's anything, yes, that is happening now.
We can't ask about the future. We don't want to ask about the past. We want to ask about things that are happening at this moment.
Or knowledge that she had, things like she mentioned that if we wanted to have the knowledge of how to become a Norn, that would be something that she knew once but can't remember now. So I think that was something we could ask.
Do you want that?
I thought of it as potentially it would be useful. It might be something that we might want to know, but it's not that I necessarily want it. I just noted it as we were discussing with her that it might be an option.
A lot of responsibility, and it will take a lot of time to take care of that. All right. How far are we from Alfheim in a thicket, Joe?
Probably only like a few hours walk will take you to get from where you are to the route to Alfheim.
Oh shit!
And then a few hours from there. Probably like a day total for you to get down to the thickets.
That's a point. We've heard quite a few times now that the other realms are all having their own problems, and they mentioned that Alfheim is at war. I'm wondering, are the people of Alfheim, would they be allies to something that we were trying to do? Is there anything we want from them?
I wonder if it is all of Alfheim that is blocked off, or the route. Like, hey man, no travel here, but you could come in.
Something we could obviously go and check. As far as I'm concerned, I rarely even used the main routes when I was alive. There's plenty. Most people don't know it, but there's plenty of lesser routes connecting to every plane in this realm, if you know where to look.
Oh.
I think since we have to go by anyway, right?
Violently, but
we won't take those.
We're tough. Oh, okay.
No, I would prefer to not. I mean, I get it, but also I would prefer to just not do the ones that are deathly, like, dangerous.
I
the
guess.
easy one, maybe. We've got a lot of stuff to do. We don't have time to, like, maybe die. Do you know what I mean? We need to focus a little bit.
Essentially, what I'm saying is that, while, yes, the front door may be locked, the windows may be unlocked to get into this metaphorical building.
I think since we go by, we figure out, poke our heads in and see what we see. Like, is it is it all of Alfheim is, like, losing their minds? Is it just we can't travel that way, right?
And do we want to help? We help people on the way, but I don't know if this is something we want to get involved in. I don't know.
Helping an entire plane. I'm not sure you understand the scale of helping an entire plane.
Well, help begins with one thing. Maybe we don't help the entire plane, but if we help an influential person, perhaps
if you
maybe
help 2 people, they can help 2 people, and then they can help. Right.
We need to make a collective agreement here as a group that not
Okay.
everything can be our problem to help with. I'm quite happy to help many smaller scale situations perhaps get resolved, but we truly are not equipped currently to help with the restabilization of the realm of Alfheim if it is in fact engaging in some kind of civil war. or
I think
anything
it's one of
along
those
those
things that,
lines.
like, I get what you're saying, but also, I don't know. I can't agree or disagree till I know what's going on. So we'll find out what is the problem, and then if it is not a thing I can help with,
I mean, also my view on it is I've got nowhere else to go, so I've got nowhere else to be. I'm here to learn and
That's
expand my mind. So, but sure, if there's other things we need to do, let's go do those.
I'm dying.
Yes, let's deal with that. Let's
We're
deal
all
with that.
dying, Willoughby. We're literally all dying.
Decision making right now. I know, but you
Juno
guys
just
were already
but
dying.
Juno's dying. Look at her right now. She's no offense, Juno. You're dying. I'm dying. Elfrid's dying right now.
I was dying, then I died, then I became immortal, and now I'm dying again. Imagine
You
that
know
kind of
what? You had a
whiplash.
time where you were immortal. Just consider, like, think about those good times. Now you're
It
just
was
back
not
with the
good
rest of
times.
us.
It was not
Then
good
what are you
times.
pissed about? Now you're dying like the
Because
rest of
now
us,
it's
and
better
you don't have to
times,
deal
and
with
now
like.
I'm dying.
I just you
Again.
got issues, man. Let's
I
just...
do have issues. How is this the first time we're covering this?
To be
No,
fair,
I
Lena,
actually
that
thought
we-
it's the whole
yeah.
time. I just didn't want to say it till now. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that this is an existential crisis for you.
Feels ruder.
It's cool.
It's fine.
I'm cool.
We will help Willoughby. We said that we would help Willoughby.
Yeah,
and
no, of course
whether
we're
or
going to
not
help.
he's dying or he was ever dying or whatever, that's fine. It's a thing for him. He's not used to this. This is probably very scary.
Oh, I'm used to it.
Well, I
could
mean that,
die.
like, magic curse from the tree that gave you life. That's probably new, right?
To my knowledge, yes.
Yes. So it's probably scary, and that's fine. I want to help. So
All right. Either way, we got to go this way, so let's keep going, right? We're not going to stand here like idiots in the road. Or we could stand here like idiots
God, we
in the
do
road
stand
if you'd like to.
stationary in the middle of roads like idiots a lot.
that's yeah.
I'm always picturing you guys walking.
That's I'm the same. Like we're not
I'm
having this
just
conversation.
walking
Just
too.
stood
I just
there.
thought it was funny.
I like to
be
imagine we're always standing on the end,
Yeah.
like the side of the road, walking in
I like to
circles,
imagine we're
kind of
right in the
pacing
fucking
around.
middle. We're just like
Yeah,
taking
blocking,
up
there's
the
people, there's
entire
traffic.
road.
Are you so
Ma'am, I'm
when you're
trying to get
passing when you're passing southwest, are you looking to pass by the route itself, the city of Mimimeth, or go around it towards the
Oh,
thicket?
city sounds
I
cool.
think
I want to go to
go
a city.
past the route itself.
I think we want to like scout shit out, man. Like, what does blocked off mean? They just said it was blocked. We don't know
Okay.
what that means. Like, we want to be able to peep it and see what's happening.
Also,
He also knows if we go into the city, we are going to get extremely distracted immediately, and
Okay.
he's no fool, and he would want to
Yes.
take us to the route.
I'm going to offer a counterpoint on that. We could also buy cool things like magic
Yeah,
items
also-
and make the money.
Poor.
Exactly, we can make money. We need things to make money with.
Mark, I
do.
want to be on your side, but I'm sure Alfheim has magic things that we can buy. If we
Yeah,
can
I mean,
get
like,
in.
yeah, sure. If we can
As
get
we're
in.
walking, Lena looks over at Juno and then looks at Eldred and is like, hey, what kind of pillows do you think they have in Alfheim? Because what if it's better than the one I took from Herod? We should definitely check
Ooh.
that out, right?
Now, what's the realm of Alfheim like? It's one of your realms. You keep talking about it, but it's not one I really know that much about. What's there?
Well, it's to my knowledge, above board, it's the realm of the elves.
Yes, the dark elves and the light elves.
It's the realm of
Yeah.
the dark elves and the light elves.
The forest
Okay.
realm, very beautiful.
Do you have light elves and dark elves in Mesogaya?
I don't know, Joe. Do we?
No, elves aren't really a thing.
I've heard of elves. I've read, but I don't know anything really about them.
Don't have them?
Like fair folk in the stories in the books that I've read, they've been described as sort of fair folk and very ethereal and very mystical. But that's about all I really would say. I wouldn't even say I know, but I've read.
Interesting. Like, huh. Do you know, I kind of figured, I guess this is dumb, right? But I just sort of assumed, like, we have
Everywhere
God
it's
of
the same?
War, you have God of War, right? We have God of this, you have God of this, and so it just seemed like,
Well, do you
everything
have
that's right.
minotaurs here?
though. I
We
don't.
just have those stupid mushroom people.
I like them.
I
Come
quite liked the
on.
little mushroom people. They
I
were
like
cute.
the mushroom people. They were quite nice. I don't think we do. Minotaur is the guy with the No, I
Bullhead.
don't.
Yes, like a bull's head.
Ah.
Famously, the labyrinth. It was they were.
Oh,
placed
I know
inside
that
it.
story, right? And there's like one in the middle, and
Yes.
No, I don't think we have any. Well, we don't have those, but we have Wait, do we have anything that is like a person with like a different head?
Not necessarily. No, there's nothing.
Wait, do you have Ratatosk there? Well, they probably
What?
wouldn't be the same.
That was the little we've met
A
a
squirrel,
Ratatosk,
yeah,
haven't we?
like it's like a squirrel that. Yeah, do you have those?
No.
No.
If you don't stop us, somebody, me and OLG are going to play the what does Messiah and what does Midgard.
Every time this happens,
Joe, I DM'd
Ruby's
you.
just looking over at Draven, I guess. and
you know,
just like,
Tomato, I'm gonna
Please
message
help.
you something because there's definitely
every time.
Well, I'll chat for England. So you want to stop me, you got to stop me.
Sorry, I was jamming.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know. I just
you know,
I just
there's
sort of assumed,
differences.
right? Yeah, no, it makes sense. I just kind of was like, oh, like they have their own version. All right. Anyway.
that's weird.
What are you two talking about back there?
Nothing.
No? Okay.
We don't have many conversations in the back line.
No?
We do a lot.
Oh, that's a shame.
Mysterious standing.
Honestly, I feel like
Wilby, do you want to see a minotaur?
well, that's the bull thing.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is it? It's like just a person with bull head, right?
Well, yes, they're normally very large, very strong. They can navigate labyrinths and mazes.
I mean, I can navigate a labyrinth or a maze. It's not.
Oh, but they do
Just
well, they
follow
do
the
it
left
magically,
side.
Willoughby. They have a magic sense that allows them to,
That
solve
seems
it.
useful. Like get out of a.
Well, I mean, how
don't
many
know how to do
labyrinths are you
labyrinths
in?
and
You're actually
mazes, yeah.
stuck inside it. I'm
like,
not
if
getting
you have
involved.
good sense
much
of
We're gonna be here all day
necromancy?
talking about
How much
mazes.
necromancy do you have here?
Now,
Like
that's a very good question.
just hey,
Looks
you're
at Eldred,
dead
who
now,
isn't
you're
here.
Awake.
Like bringing a dead body just back to life. Poof.
I mean, more than that, but sure, including that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do I count as necromancy in
No.
the scheme of what necromancy is?
No,
Well,
sadly.
no, I think you do, right? You died, then you're now a tree person,
okay.
like
I
they
guess
said.
that
It's
works.
quicker, I know.
That's more like reincarnation than
That's true.
necromancy.
Uh,
Necromancy
Eldred would
manipulates
probably
what
answer.
existed body.
As it is her realm of expertise. and
Field.
she would mention, she would say, we have
Yes.
Droga.
oh shit, yeah, Draugr.
Yes,
A lot of necromancy.
those are interesting. Do they drain the Draga of blood? Is that why their bodies are like that?
Their body freezes over. The blood in
Oh,
their
it's the
veins is frozen.
Mm.
I've never tried that.
Like, you want to try ice blood? They have like ice wine, right? It'd be like a
Sure.
delicacy.
Like eating it.
Yeah.
That's a
I don't know. What did you
possibility,
mean?
Too.
What were you going to do with it?
How far are we?
I don't know.
From
you're
a
like,
Draugr?
I feel like whenever you get into these conversations about blood and stuff, it means you just really want to take a break and get like a snack. Or
You
something.
need to eat a finger. Do you have fingers left?
Oh,
Are you-
absolutely.
do you
but
have
Are
they're-
you hungry?
I mean, they're probably gross. I started
Were they
salting
ever-
them.
They have
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
all right.
Not like for flavor, to like dry them
Just to
out.
like keep, yeah.
It's going to be like extra crispy.
Do you need? You don't. You just need a lit. This is. I'm trying to think of the way
I
to ask
don't
this.
need to consume blood to survive. I
No. But how much blood satiates you? The equivalent of a meal, for example. Like, do you have to like? Would somebody faint if you were to drain from them? How much?
I could keep going, yes. I'd say about...
Oh, you could. Interesting.
an arm's worth.
Oh, so likely
What's
to
that arm?
have at least some consequences for whomever you sort of drain from.
If I'm drinking to satisfy myself, yes. But I can also just, eat pigs.
Yes, yes,
Not
yes.
just suck them dry. I mean, like pork.
Yes. I was just curious at how much blood you needed to feel satiated. This was an interesting.
I'm just bite like 3 separate people, separated up. I'm fine.
Like a little buffet.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly find it's just weirder because he doesn't need to do it. He does it because he enjoys it. And
Well,
I
yeah, but
think
think about all the
needed to
things.
do it. I don't think I would respond to it as negatively
Oh.
as well, just because.
Think about all the things you don't need to do, but you do, right?
It's also necromancy. That's why. See, their blood has essence of their soul inside of it. That's what I'm feeding on. Not
Interesting.
just the vitamins. That's why it empowers me. That's why it heals me. If we find
In
a
a
body, I
roundabout
can
way,
show you
you
how
are
it
a
works.
necromancer.
It runs
Hang
in
on
the
a
family.
second.
Mm.
Wait a minute. It's like you take a little bit of their soul if you drink their blood.
Yes,
Interesting.
slightly. I mean, a soul can heal itself over time, so it's not
Just
like
sort
it's
of like, it's
lost.
like, all right, okay, that's okay then.
Would you like me to bite you?
No, remember, I already let you did once. I wish you would have said the soul thing first, and I would have been like,
It came back.
no, I mean, I feel fine. I just then was like, ah, shit, should I have asked that? Now I know. Next time somebody's like, hey, I'm interested in blood, I'll be like, how's
I
my
mean,
soul
think
going
of
to
it
be?
this way: when you die, your soul completely leaves, and it can just be returned by revival. It's the same thing, except you just haven't died this time.
Well, days young, I guess.
So what happens
joking,
if
I'm
someone
not
that
going to
likes
die today.
eating, drinking blood bites you and starts drinking your blood, and then you bite them and start drinking their blood?
Oh,
I
shit.
think you call that coitus.
Sure.
Juno definitely probably is like, just like rolls her eyes.
Looks at Willie and snickers a little.
One second, I'm pretty sure my dog stole one of my prop swords and is like hitting my couch. And
Go save it. Go
That
save
is
it.
a dangerous situation.
It's
The
like
dog just-
plastic, but I hear him going whap, whap.
Dark Souls Sif moment.
Yeah,
Have you guys
that's
seen-
what I had in my head.
There's a video of 2 people who have a dog and they're doing that. They're like play fighting with swords, and their dog runs up and has one of their play swords and like is like,
It's just like,
yeah, it's really
amazing.
As you're walking along, then, as you're skirting around the city and heading towards kind of past the route itself, you can see where a massive portion of the ground is kind of stretched out, almost like these huge just branches of wood that come out in the distance. It rises a good like 70, 80 feet into the sky of the roots coming out, and they almost bend inwards, like a tunnel opening up.
Oh shit.
In front of it is a large contingent of people. A lot of Ratatosk, a lot of Kavista, and some humans, some other. But they seem to have kind of encamped outside. There usually is like there's a few buildings that live around it. But for the most part, unlike the other routes for you, Willoughby, the route to Alfheim is mostly just tended to, similar to how you tend the groves, and more of a respected entrance, as opposed to some of the other entrances which are actually blocked up. This one seems to be less so like that and more of a respected kind of grove. But right now, there's a large contingent of people out there, and they're kind of growing roots to block it off, almost like a webbing across the entrance to the route itself.
Are any of the Kvistir present like older ones like Willoughby, or are they mostly newer model?
As you kind of pass on closer, and you notice in total there's probably a good 70, 80 people here, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay.
Well,
That is a 17.
never mind.
With 17, you can see none that are like yourself. These all seem to be part of the newer model. Grove tenders are themselves, though more closer to a druid than it is to be a grove tender in the kind of traditional means as you know it. They are the ones who are mostly focused on closing up the hole to Alfheim. And none of them seem to be of a model similar to you. All of them seem to be new.
Willoughby would march up pretty confidently,
Yeah.
considering what he is,
Mm-hmm.
and walk up to the crowd and be like, "So, what seems to be the problem here?"
One of the-
to his group, realizing he probably shouldn't have been the one to open the conversation.
One of the
I love
Cavista
it.
kind of steps over towards you. Bows its head. The way to Alfheim is shut, I'm afraid. You see, almost in a similar way, vibrates kind of coming out of the roots, no mouth to be spoken with. He seems to be kind of covered in various leaves that come off almost like shoulder pads that create almost like a shawl over his shoulders. But of leaves of green and autumn kind of orange. A much thinner, tall face with very kind of weaving branches that almost resemble curly hair. Great big glowing bluish eyes.
Like, totally closed? What happened?
There's said to have been a darkness that has converged within the depths of the Dark Elves. War has overcome it, and we have been ordered to shut the pass.
Oh shit, when did that happen? Like, recently?
Very recently, within the last 6 days or so. We've been asked to shut the pass, close it off until the war does not spill over onto
Who made that? Who asked?
Yeah.
Balder.
Old.
Well, that's the one
Both of us
everyone
here.
likes.
That's the one everyone
Yeah.
likes.
Like, Balder was here and told you to shut the route down?
No. He sent one of his people. One of the light elves have come to greet us.
Are they still here, this light elf?
They are. Yes, they're overseeing the operation.
Can we speak to them?
Kind of slowly turns his head and looks over towards other Cavista, and a few Ratatosk go walking around. You see the Ratatosk, they wear kind of these kind of shoulder pads which come down, almost like large crow kind of skins that they wear on the front of their kind of shoulders. And you see each one of them has these little pendant, which is a series of roots made into a star shape. And they're walking around with spears and swords and kind of guarding the area.
I'd have to ask the commander of the forces here. Some of the people from the city have come over to help guard to make sure no one tries to break in.
Well, I mean, I can speak for all 5 of us here. They're with me. I am, as I'm sure you can tell, quite a bit your senior in this operation.
And looks around. Roll a persuasion check.
Is he like your grandfather, maybe?
12.
Senior, I'm not too aware of the hierarchy of our people. I have spent most of my time outside the roots here helping guide those who wish to pass on through. Am I to know you?
Oh, no.
I'm one of the higher grove tenders of Yggdrasil. I'm an envoy. I was sent to Ethelon for
Oh,
recon.
oh,
I was taking my party here to return to Asgard. I'm aware that things have been made a little bit more complicated since then. I would just like to speak to this elf.
very well. I'll put in word with the Ratatosk and let them know that you are welcome here.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
That
course.
would be most helpful.
Yes,
Did, can I just ask one more question? I'm sorry. When they said to shut down the route, like, did they say anything that you're supposed to tell travelers? Like, do we have any idea when things will get resolved? Is there anything else like,
currently
they just were like, just shut it.
they've asked us to shut off and not let those who wish to explore the other side or pass through back and forth. This does not apply to light or dark elves. they wish to return home. But the fear is that the walls spill out into Midgard.
So there's. Sorry, I just want to make sure I understand what's happening. So something happened to the dark elves, some sort of darkness. There's a little civil war going, but light elves and dark elves can still go back together in harmony to their home.
But they were worried about war spilling over into Midgard.
Yes, very much a case of you can go in but not come out if you are of their people. Balder did not wish to neglect families from loved ones,
Got it.
as he cares.
All right. Well, that's considerate of them, right?
Makes sense why everyone loves Balder.
Are
He's
there
a good
any
guy.
visible dark elves or light elves in the area?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
Okay. 17.
Do you know what a dark elf or light elf looks like?
Not at all. So, honestly, Draven will probably be like, what do they look like? And then if he sees anyone that looks...
Vaguely like that.
Yes, Willoughby and
I
Fun
think,
fact.
I think
around.
I
Willoughby,
don't know.
having taken kind of an authority position in
Yeah.
this moment, would point out what an elf looks like if
'Cause-
asked.
Yeah.
Because Draven hasn't met an elf.
He has. You would point out what they look like, Willoughby, and you would see a few of them trying to wait to go in, waiting their turn over kind of by a campsite as they're kind of patching up some of the entrances. And you see about 4 light elves and about 5 or 6 dark elves. You notice the light elves are butterflies, humanoid butterfly people. And the dark elves,
Ooh.
humanoid moth people. You can kind of
Hell
see
yeah.
the various kind of fuzzy natures of them, the large eyes, the beautiful colorations on
Oh
the
no.
wings and whatnot.
You jerk.
Hmm?
The daughter was a light elf, right? Is that why she
A
looked
race?
like that? And
Not a
yeah.
race. The one you met was
Okay.
actually the barkeep. The barkeep you
barkeep.
met was a
I just forgot her name.
Mm.
Yeah. Layan or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are they talking to each other? Like, do the groups look friendly or
They avoid
or-
each other for the most part. You can see they kind of
Okay.
sit close-ish, but not necessarily within talking distance.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Well, I think if we can speak to this light elf and ask, exactly what has happened and just get an idea of it and just, it's useful information for us to know, right?
Cool.
As in
We'll
what
see.
happened.
I'll let them know.
And walks around to the back, talks to a Ratatosk.
I
who-
appreciate he answered my question. I was more talking to us, but yes.
What if we just went in? What if we
It's
just...
like actually shut though, right? Like there's
Well,
like
they've
it's
made it
physically
clear that
barricaded.
entering is easy, but leaving is the difficult part. Plus, we don't actually know what's going on, and if we don't actually need to go in, that's not actually our destination today.
That's true.
So this is more of just a pit stop.
But you did we want to use it to go to Yggdrasil for you, or is that still?
What?
Forgive me, my mind is a bit addled today. I'm not quite sure
We were
what's
told
happening.
Pretty
It's like I've been writing everything
clearly
down
that
and I
if
don't
we
have it.
tried to go to Yggdrasil without invitation, we would
That's
be
right.
promptly executed.
That's right. Okay.
Fair.
Okay.
But I am confident I could get us to Yggdrasil anytime I fucking so well please.
You are a mighty and powerful tree man, Willoughby.
Three
What the
people.
hell did you just say?
Jenna just laughs. Heh heh. That guy called you a tree man.
You would see as a series of the Ratatosk are kind of a few of them look around, look across to all of you, and then one of them kind of steps over. And you see, as he kind of comes over, you can see scars down the side of his fur on his face. He looks up across all of you. Greetings. You wish to speak to the Light Elf.
That we do.
Yes,
Right.
please.
If you'd like to follow me through the campsite. He turns and kind of walks. He's only about 3 feet tall,
I was gonna say, I love the fact that he has that gruff voice,
Yeah.
and then I just picture this like hamster man, like
Yeah,
this
he's
little tiny like
you see he's
hamster
kind of
guy,
pull quite like
squirrel.
tail that curls around. You can see they almost wear like an armor on the back of their tail as well, almost like a sleeve of kind of chainmail. And you can see as he kind of walks along, uses his
So
kind of
cute.
spear to just tap the ground every now and then. All right, kind of passes through the little area, and you can see where they're trying to set up almost like refugee sites for people that will pass back and forth or pass through into the portal, and mostly just areas of fencing around the route itself. You can see it overbearing, kind of shadowing your area as the sun kind of beams down across you. You have like a shadow falling over the camp, and he walks over towards a little section where a tent has been set up, but it's almost like it's almost upside down the way the tents work for them. It kind of curls around almost like a bowl, coming down, and the entrance goes in. They leave a kind of the sunlight can come into the tent, but you can't really see in. It's almost like imagine a lampshade upside down, and he kind of walks over towards it. No guards outside, and he stops and turns and goes, I'll let her know that you're coming in, and then she'll give you a time.
Okay.
Which those shows
Thank
coming.
Hey. Do I use the group or should I use my name?
Or just use your name, maybe? I don't know.
Will it be the Creastier?
You're the grove tender.
The Grove Tender, yes.
And he passes
And
in.
companions.
And companions,
Goes into the tent. You hear the muttering, and he steps out a few minutes later.
she'll see you.
And walks off to the side.
Thank you. All right.
Very exciting.
Inside the
Was I
tent.
meeting?
Sorry, you go.
No. I was literally just nothing.
Inside the tent
Saying
itself.
nothing of importance.
Sorry, no, everything's important. Inside the tent itself, you can see kind of almost like a hammock that's been set up against the wall, and kind of this almost like horseshoe-shaped table that she's stood in front of. She has beautiful kind of golden wings with blues and yellows that streak out almost like lightning coming out of the gold in the wings. She stands tall, and you can see her great big, almost golden-like eyes that match her wings. You'd see all lined around the top of the lampshade-like building or tent are these series of small lights that kind of emit when the sunlight hits them. They kind of shine and reflect downwards, and it's quite bright in here, brighter than you'd even get outside, even in the direct sunlight. Enough that you'd have to kind of shade your eyes a little bit, like being surrounded by a bunch of ring lights and whatnot, like being in a studio. And as you kind of step in, she looks across all of you, waves her hand and dims it very slightly. Enough that you wouldn't have to squint as much.
Appreciate it.
Because... So... What can I do for the Grove Tender and his companions?
Well, first of all, you can explain to us exactly what's going on in there.
Unfortunately, I do not have all the details, but there has been an explosion of sorts.
Explosion.
Magical in nature,
Magical in
chemical
nature.
in nature.
Excelling from the Dark Elves area, it has been absorbing light, drawing it
Like
in.
it's still exploding?
This is what we believe, yes. There's been conflict between the Dark Elves and Light Elves as they are fighting over the origin of this. Currently, we are making sure that if worst comes to worst, that it draws no light from outside of Alfheim.
Did the Dark Elves claim this explosion as they're doing?
Some have, though it might just be that they are using the tensions, we do not know. Balder is trying to investigate himself.
Oh.
He's directly involved.
Interesting.
So if we were to hell,
And Alfheim is therefore closed off to everybody?
To everybody that does not have family there, yes.
You're not trying to evacuate it instead? You're just going to keep everyone who's there in there with the exploding darkness?
We are trying to keep things calm at the moment. We have evacuated to the edges around. Alfheim is quite big, but the darkness is expanding from the center.
So, are the Dark Elves and the Light Elves planning on going to war over this? Or is this currently a wait and see what happens with the big explosion?
There have been conflicts already. The war might be a stretch of a word. The conflicts have begun, as the darkness is slowly expanding day by day, but they are trying to contain it.
The Dark Elves, you said that some of them have claimed responsibility for this, but are they also... Do you know if this darkness is hurting them, is causing problems for them as well, or is this... Are they sort of reveling in this change? I'm sorry, I don't exactly know the nature of your relationship between these people and what benefits there are to this, if they have powers in this darkness or such.
It has, but it has also changed them. Any who are caught in the darkness itself are following a new cause.
What cause is that?
We don't know. But they are more likely to attack than to converse.
They
Are
seem...
able to converse, though, or are these
Yes, are they...
feral monsters?
Yes, do they seem to have any sort of sentience or like control? Is this a choice that they make once they are, inside the darkness, or is this
We don't
forced
know.
upon them?
But we do know that they are sentient. To an extent, they seem to have seen a greater power.
Do they look physically the same?
Yes and no. It is more a feeling around them.
And
Okay.
this happens to Dark Elves that enter the radius of this explosion, not Light Elves, or does it also happen to them?
The Light Elves are being corrupted as well, though a greater power overwhelms them. When it happens to Light Elves, they mostly die,
Oh shit.
or at least shortly after,
Okay.
like an infection.
And when did this explosion happen?
Recently, within the last few weeks. But only recently have we been trying to really contain it. It is not under threat of all of Alfheim yet. If we cannot find a way to stop it, it might. But
But in the meantime,
yes.
the Light Elves are dying, yes?
Any who are
not even
close
just...
to it. Where it happened was unfortunately over one of our larger populaces.
Oh, I'm
And
so
there.
So sorry. Do you know if it... What happens to non-elves who are in the darkness? Do you know?
We don't.
Is it
Mm.
they have to be in it or just like near it for it? Is it like a
It is a suction of sorts.
barrier,
It
or-
is something that
Draws you in.
draws you in when you're close. But it hasn't stretched incredibly far yet. It is a slow process.
Right. Well, hypothetically, if we were to get involved in trying to solve this,
Juno smiles at Willoughby.
Willoughby looks over at Juno,
Like, yes,
very,
yes.
very clearly annoyed by the fact that he knows fully well if he doesn't ask this, someone else is going to. Who would we seek out on the interior of Alfheim? Get more detail.
We haven't had any volunteers yet. There
Are
are
you
those
looking
who
for
wish
them?
to. Well, it's not. We haven't entered into a state of panic inside. So it's not necessarily something which has a call for volunteers. But if you do wish to enter, it might be something that I can permit. Though we are not
Interesting.
letting anyone out until we know that this infection does not spread.
No, of course.
Sure.
And you said that is Balder in Alfheim now trying? You said that they were trying to directly help with all of this. Are they also there?
Balder is.
Do you know his location?
We do.
Well, then that's probably where we would go.
Alright, a bold action, I suppose, to tout to the gods, but yes,
Want to be our
Balder
first
is in
one?
Ale. A-I-L.
Yeah.
Ale.
One of the grander cities of the Light Elves inside.
Would you excuse us for a moment?
Yes. Thank you. Well, thank you for your information. I am so sorry about what is happening in your lands, in your home. I hope that something, regardless of anything else, I hope that something happens and your people are safe.
Troubled times.
Thank you.
Pulling everyone aside, there is a solid chance that this is still connected to the poisoning of the trees. If it is poisoning the mind of the Dark Elves, creating some sense of disarray, if this is a root, nonetheless, that we were hoping to use, I don't expect it is one triggered by the other, but it'd be almost near impossible to believe that they were not connected. And we have now seen firsthand that more than a few Midgardians are now wandering this land.
And we know that these problems all started about the same time the Fates went missing. It's all connected. And Willoughby, I mean, I know that you said that the gods, you know, that you've never had a good relationship, but surely if this Balder is actively seeking aid, having him on your side for helping figure out what's happening would be a good thing?
You don't have to keep trying to convince me. I'm in it for doing it. All right. I don't know what else to say. It seems like everyone wants to go.
No, I'm putting the cards on the table, you know?
Seems like the cards have
Okay,
been on the table.
Juno, I want you to know, you have a tone of inflection of your voice when you're excited that never is ever hidden. We all know when you want to do something. This wasn't to convince you, Willoughby. I was convincing myself.
Okay, well
I
that
think
makes
it
me
is-
feel a little bit better. Look, the thing is, it's just we're like 2 hours away from the
Yeah,
damn spiral.
Sure.
Fucking-
We could go there. Do we have questions that we
I
want to
think-
ask?
I don't think so.
I think
I don't
we
think
don't-
we do.
I think
Do we
the
want
thing
to
is,
treat this as kind of a chance to think about our questions as we casually
Ex-
say
I think
a
it's
random
two things,
claim?
so right? It gives us an opportunity to think about our questions, and if we find out what is going on here, it might actually give us some other things we might want to ask.
There's no
Because
point.
I do think Traven
exactly.
is right. I think there's a lot going on, and if it's connected, I would like to know what is happening.
Okay.
Conveniently enough, at least I have a baseline. I know Balder to some extent. He may recognize me, so we can at
Okay.
least work with that.
Can't our questions technically be anything though?
Anything that we no, because it has to be something that she
Well, they can.
had
I
knowledge
don't
of,
think
right?
it did. No, it was just what she had knowledge of would make it easier. But
If
that
we
wasn't
use her
why.
blood, yes.
It could be anything.
If you mix your
it's
own
just,
blood,
If you ask the wrong thing, it is going to drive you mad.
It wasn't
So
about the wrong thing. It was about
The
the
wrong
scale.
thing, it's about asking something
Yeah,
that is
that's
too
what I
large
mean.
scale.
That's
to be
right,
fully transparent with all of you, because I do think it is important to be, I have a very personal question I'd like to ask with mine.
of course.
That I'd rather
that's
not
why I
disclose
think,
You don't
currently.
have to.
you know,
we
I
could
think
ask
because
a question related to this place
we got
before we go in.
a drop for each of us, right? What we should do is if we have a personal question, it's not like you have to tell everyone what your personal question is, but for those who don't have a personal question, we should discuss what we're trying to find out, right? To get the most bang for our blood.
I almost say I think we should discuss it, but I don't think we should impose on who is asking what.
Oh yeah, no. I
Because
just
that
think
takes away from the personal question if we all
You-
have one.
coordinate so you don't double, like, I don't know, if I don't tell anyone what I'm asking and I want to ask whatever, and Eldred's like, shit, I asked the same thing, we got the same answer, we wasted a drop of blood, right?
We
I
can
just
keep,
mean it from that
I'm willing
standpoint.
to go down the list in a semi-vague sense, something that says just personal question.
Yeah, no, I don't.
relating To,
If you have a
this and
personal
that.
question, ask it. I'm just saying, for those who don't,
yes, exactly, so
coordinate
people
the
at least
question.
know
yeah.
what
And
people
just
are asking.
Fair.
just I'm gonna check with my. This is me checking my own memory here. The drops of blood are when we want to ask questions about the present. That's something that she would have known about. So it could almost be about something happening in any part of the worlds right now. But we can also ask questions about anything. But that's where the scope and we go mad if it's too big, right? That's my understanding of that is correct.
Yes.
Okay. I still don't know what I would ask on either case, but
Hey, do you know what? We
There's
got
too
time
much
to
op-
think about it. We're going to go to Alfheim and figure out an explosion.
well, we
Okay,
don't.
let's-
You know, it's just. I think it's a good thing, to go and help them. So
We were tasked to make a name for ourselves and get ourselves noticed.
That's what
people
we're doing.
want
We're
to
going to
boon,
save
saving
Alfheim. Balder's
Alfheim
going to
as
love us
well.
as much as we love him. It's going to be great.
Of all the
Leno,
gods
do
that
you
I
want
would
a
like to go
boon?
to, Balder is definitely on the top of the list.
Juno.
He's definitely the nicest one.
Juno, do you think I haven't been thinking about the boons this whole time and making plans
See,
and
and
leaving tokens?
would you
Come
like a
on.
little boon from Balder? He sounds like a cool guy.
He is a cool.
Wait till you meet him. Everybody loves him. You're going to love him too.
I hope so.
It'd be weird. It really ruined the whole dynamic if you didn't like Balder, to be
What
honest.
is so much? Oh, shit.
What
you-
if he's
okay,
actually an
wait.
asshole, but you're
If
all
you
under
don't
some
like
sort of
him,
magic curse?
Juno, you better act
Definitely
like
not
you
is
like.
the thing, though.
It's gonna be weird.
I'm sure I'll like him.
I'm sure.
long as he's-
you
as
like
long as
most
he's,
everybody. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So-
as long as-
Are we all?
We're going to Alfheim. Let's do it.
Going to? Okay, I'll go let them know. We will stand up and go back to the elf woman.
Okay.
He'll like peek his
Quest.
head in. and be
New
like,
quest.
Would you mind letting them know we would like passage into Alfheim
Now,
right now?
It's what you mean right now, dude.
Alright. you might be stuck in there for some time. If you're okay with that.
We're okay with that.
All right. I'll let them know.
For the absence of fate in this world, it sure does seem like we miraculously stumble upon quests on a nigh 6-hourly basis.
Joe's gonna pull the card where he's like, "You guys don't have to go to Alfheim."
No, I mean technically you don't. But I will say this. That is
What are you
because
gonna
this kind of thing is happening everywhere.
Everywhere.
The whole
You
world
learned
is
this-
breaking, basically.
Yes, essentially this is what used to happen: is that the fates would get involved in kind of
But
almost
they would
like-
spread it
And,
out.
and someone would be tasked to solve it by
Yeah.
fates.
Now nobody's
involved.
tasked.
Or
We're
God's
going
Now
to
no
take
one's
care
doing
of it.
anything.
Now it's a
Okay.
case of these things open up
Just-
everywhere, and
because
there's a lot of
sometimes
places
it's
which
funny
won't.
for us to just be like walking down the street and it's like, oh, what's up?
You know what, you guys,
Alfheim's
this
blowing
makes
up
me-
today.
It makes me feel better because I don't really like to leave stuff totally undone. And so if I know that, like, if I go to a place and they're like, I'm having trouble with this, this, and this, I want to get it all taken care of. So now we can get it all taken care of.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a light elf with rats in their basement that they need help with too while we're in there.
Okay,
can
we
take-
need to make an agreement
Rats
here
in
that
a
we are
basement?
not going to get involved in
You
a bunch of
know, or
other
like-
smaller chores
Oh,
in
my-
Alfheim. We're going to
You
Alfheim to
know,
get this done, and then
Cat
we're
is
leaving.
stuck in
Everyone-
a tree.
Everyone, hands in the middle here. We are just
What's
going
bad
in to do
if
this.
it's like
But if somebody's got
dog
a
is lost?
We're not looking
Okay,
for someone's
here's the-
dog who
What
got
if,
lost
Here's the problem.
today.
I would look for a lost dog.
You
I
all
like
are
dogs.
wonderful. You all make decisions for us as a group. We need to stop doing that, whether intentionally or not. Making a decision for yourself is one thing, but if we agree to do something and you tell someone or you greet someone or you share something to someone, you are making a decision for all of us, whether you mean to or not. Your intent does not excuse your actions. So if we go in this together, we choose together.
So do you want to just so I understand, Raven, this genuinely, because I don't want to cause problems, because I know that I can obviously, it seems that my eagerness can sometimes come across that way, but you want us to step away and say like, okay, let us think about this, and then we go have a conversation and things like that, and try and keep things like that way?
We can
Okay, at
least
benefit
here.
from more sidebars. I
All right.
think.
Okay.
We can all
Here's what I'm
agree
going to
on
say here.
Especially during a war.
Here's what I'm going to say here. First of all, you're kind of mean if you're not going to stop and help a cat in a tree, but also, I was joking, it's fine. don't worry. But
Lena,
here's the
your
other thing.
intentions are impossible.
Hey, I'm not done here, Draven. You just had your piece, and now it is time for Lena to have her piece. So you can wait a minute, because what I'm going to say now is you often walk up to people and start talking on your own without discussing what everybody else is going to do. So you're doing the same thing. So if we are going, I'm not done yet. If we are going to do that, then everybody is going to do it. And before anybody says anything to anybody ever, we will stop, we will crowdsource, we will see what everyone wants to say, we will get a consensus, we will get 3 out of 5 votes, and then we will go talk to people.
Name 2 situations that happened where I didn't have you all tell me to go speak to someone.
Raven.
Please, you obviously have examples. I'm curious, so
I don't really know what you said, but I do remember when we were walking into the Amanita village and you stopped and you talked to the people who were in the cage. I didn't understand that language, but you did have conversations with them that you didn't tell us what you were going to say.
Now,
So there was that one.
While we're on this topic, I do think what's more relevant than nitpicking all the individual situations.
Yeah, my
that
whole point is I don't care
forward,
about
if
all
we're
of
going to
that.
continue. It's now been weeks we've been traveling together at this point. Yes, everyone?
Yes, I think so.
Going
Yeah.
forward, what one person does represents the entire group. I think that's what we're kind of getting at here. And
Okay.
there is a word here called cohesion. We all need to be a single entity. And if one person were to say, go around stabbing people and turning them into fish bait, that may not be ideal.
Who's going to stab people and turn them into...
I'm not pointing any fingers, but I'm saying I may still be a little upset, and sometimes it bothers me.
That's fine.
We won't
But I
turn
will not
people
hold
into
any grudges
bait.
because
No, I'm not...
I've done nothing wrong across the board.
I just don't. Okay, fine. That's fine. Whatever. I accept my responsibility. The
No.
only thing that I have a confusion on is when I have a criticism, I say it in the moment. If you all stew on these things, it makes consistently less sense to me.
I think...
That does make sense. We keep a lot of things to ourselves, and then we all yell about
I don't
them.
know. I feel
Every
like I say a lot.
frustration I've had, I say it in the moment.
I will say that, Draven,
Don't
when
think
you
I've had
said...
any frustrations.
When we were in the dream... What was it like yesterday? When we were in the dream world, and we came out of our interviews, and Draven said, wait, was I the only one that actually did it? Because... Willoughby, you did whatever you did, right? Eltrick did whatever she did. Juno did whatever she did. I went to the interview, but I didn't like it, so I was kind of mad about it, but I did it. And I do think there is a wider point there of, if we're going to agree to do something, we should probably we should do the thing that we agreed to, right? And if we think just give a heads up if you think something has to change, right? I said hand signals. I don't know why we can't do that. Like, just be like, oh shit, wait a minute, what about this? It's okay to say that. We could change our plans based on new information. That's not weird. That's actually responsible.
I think we should be more rude to everyone else around us if it means that we, as a group of 5, are in better communication. Who's in agreement of constantly saying, shut up, random person we're talking to. We need to take a sidebar over here so we don't make absolute
Juno's never going to be okay with that. I can tell you right now. She's not going to say, shut up.
I wouldn't say shut up, but I don't mind if somebody else does.
I do think that would solve a lot of our problems, though.
If I talk too much, then I am happy. But
I like to get information as well, so I like to talk to people.
If I can just ask some clarifications, because I do apologize. I've spent my life amongst scholars, and I have not been around friends many. I've not had many friends.
What are you trying to say, Juno?
If I can clarify, with regards to the dream sequence, for example, that was clearly a misunderstanding on my part. I knew that we were going into the dream to try and resolve the problem, but I did not realize that we had made that agreement to sort of do things in a certain way. I became the interviewer to try and gain more information to aid us in what we were going to do there.
No,
So
it is-
I think I had a misunderstanding there. And
worked
also
out.
with things like, for example, just now when we were speaking to this light elf, I do apologize if my eagerness says something to others that I did not intend. I just don't know how else I could be. I didn't agree to anything, I thought, and I thought that I was just merely asking some questions. I ask a lot of questions, as you know, and that's often I'm just trying to clarify the options that we have, or maybe see what opportunities there are. I by no means am I trying to say that is what we should do or do. So I just want to make.
ask questions. Don't worry about it. It is fine. You
sorry,
are
is there an issue
excited.
over
It
here?
is okay.
One of the
No,
rats
there's
goes,
no issue.
No,
This
we're
is
just
your
having a
problem.
little. Wait!
Do you know
Shut
what?
up!
Actually, I'm a little package.
away!
Back off. All right, I am a grove
No, we're
tender
not.
of Yggdrasil. Give us some space. All right.
We
This
were
is
having a
private business.
moment. You're fine. It is
just
okay.
checking in.
Thank you for checking in.
The
That
rat
is very
just walks
kind.
off.
Was that the kind of shut up that we should do?
You don't.
And it
That's the
worked.
kind of energy we need to start
It
introducing
worked.
because otherwise, I think sometimes we're a little
Okay.
too nice.
I mean, I can't stop being nice. I'm a nice person.
I also think that
I'm not actually nice, but
there's a lot of trust
Very nice.
during the
I just ask a question.
seedlings of a war. And I don't know if any of you have been in a war before,
No.
but if you share too much, too willingly, it will kill you. And there's reason I don't share as much.
That
Because
seems.
if anyone gets in my way of my goal, I will have to kill them too.
Oh,
Excuse me.
wow.
I am a soldier.
Oh yes, clearly. I did not quite realize how dedicated to your goals you were. That's.
I mean, do you have some like vague bullet points of like this is the general idea of my goal, so I don't just
A bullet point.
catch a stab in
No,
the
you know
back?
my goal. I
Yes.
swore an oath.
I purposely didn't say it out loud.
Well
I was
done.
thinking about it.
It's a
Yeah,
goal
but-
that isn't in this world, but a different one.
Okay.
Well, all right. How about this? Let's just focus on the Alfheim thing, right? We've got darkness exploding. There probably won't be any cats in trees or lot. Actually, there probably will be because everything's going to go crazy when darkness explodes. But we'll go in. We'll see what we see. We'll fix what we can fix. We'll
And if
say
anything
hey
comes
to
up,
Balder.
we talk about it as a team. If anything does come up, we say, do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? Do we want to help? Do we not want to help? Right?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Okay.
I mean, I
get a
think we still
snack
have
out
to
of my
wait for
bag.
them to like give us permission to go in. So
Hey, how's that door going? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you can talk to us now. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude earlier. We were trying a new thing.
The Ratstosk was the one that got sent away. The light elf is kind of still waiting for you inside the tent.
yeah, we'll just go like peek his head back in. We're all set to go now.
All right.
Okay, we're
I can
good.
signal them.
We're all good now.
And once you go in, don't wander from the path. You're going to want to walk straight to your left and see some of the guards there and get a bulb up to the top.
Okay.
Get the bulb to go to the left, see the guards, get the bulb to the top. Don't stray from the path. Got it.
Yes. She takes off one of the kind of lights on her wall.
What was your name? I didn't even ask.
Fission.
Shen, it's good to meet you.
And twist it once and you see the light change. Twist it again, you see it change to a blue. Twist it again, it changes back to a white. And then pushes it back in. It's on the wall. They know that my guests will be sent in now. We will be closing
Okay.
up after you. On the other side, there is no way to escape.
Is there... I know we need to see the guards to get the bulb to the top. Is there someone we should ask for specifically once we get to the top?
Get to the top will be Ale. You'll be
Oh,
at your
alright.
destination.
Okay.
All right.
Stick around there if you have any allies. Otherwise, it's nothing I can necessarily recommend because I do not know. But if you seem that you have some relation with Balder himself, then perhaps take him.
Simple
Hey
enough.
guys, we're here. Can we see Balder?
We're going to skip that. I will send a message once we get there.
Oh yeah, we're
Alright.
just here to see Balder. No big deal.
Good luck inside.
Thank you.
And enjoy the beauties of Alfheim.
Hey Joe, can you repeat to me what that twisting sequence was? I need that.
Okay.
I don't trust anything you do.
She opened up this kind of orb, so it kind of like extended the middle slightly, twisted it
Yes.
down once, and it had like an orange glow. Then again down, it was a blue, and then she twisted it all the way back up to its original kind of whitish glow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm still reeling from the like fifth conversation we as a group have had about how our group functions in,
To be fair, how much time has actually elapsed since we've
we
met?
talk so much as a group, but the fact that we still have to have like huddles and be like, yo, this shit super not okay. Just can't do it like this anymore.
Also,
It's
damn,
only-
Lena.
has it even been a
By the
month?
way, Draven. By the way, actually.
That-
She's gonna
was
be
wild.
offended
That
as
was
fuck
wild.
by that and be that fucking lady.
anyone's
that
names.
shit with Willoughby, I would have been stun locked as a player. I would have been like,
She
what did
is
you
not gonna take
I
it.
was
say
just like,
fucking
man,
plug
I'm
from,
glad
like,
Juno's.
sessions ago.
Said we. And she's like, well, you, Draven, you specific. I'm like, yes. I killed a man because we didn't talk to each
I
other.
killed the guy
So
because you
I'm
didn't
like,
tell me not
let's
to.
talk to
You see,
each other.
I will say this. I think Wilby and Draven are communicating very well lately.
100%.
We shrug and nod to each other
Yes.
all the time.
And the weird thing is, it does mean stuff.
It works. It means things.
Yeah.
I'm just out here. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, I was just asking some questions, man.
Shout out to the person that said like Wolf Dad and Stab Mom are fighting.
But you can see over by the where the kind of entrance is, they have kind of similar orbs on the wall, and one of them was glowing, kind of a blue. Do you head over
Alright.
towards Alfheim?
yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Hang on, guys. I'm having some second. No, I'm kidding.
Stepping over towards that area, you'd see as the kind of Cavista around it step aside, and one kind of looms over, looks towards all of you. You are the guests. And causes the roots to kind of split. Please, go quickly. And you see, shuffling behind you, some of the light elves and the dark elves kind of lining up.
Are they like avoiding each other?
They keep it a little bit apart, yeah.
Keep an eye on them. But yeah. Well, I'm ready.
Enter.
Yeah, Willoughby walks in. He doesn't even hesitate.
One
Yeah.
by one.
Neither's Julie.
You step into the route to Alfheim. And as you step into them, you feel this kind of turning sensation in your stomach. The roots close in behind you as the light elves and the dark elves slowly pour into Alfheim. And Willoughby, you're the only one who has this sensation before. But walking through the route is like going down a hill that is also twisting and turning around you, but your feet almost feel a little bit unstable. Like you're on a almost like on a conveyor belt that is designed as a spiral. But gravity has kept you on. So you always feel like you're falling to your right as you're walking down. A warmth kind of emanates down from the depths of the roots itself. You hear water running and spiraling around you, almost on the opposite side to the way you walk. And you can see if you look behind you that you are walking in a spiral. Almost like a coin spinning down and down into a spiral itself. You can see some of the dark elves who are at the back are now below you, 50 feet back. But as they walk up and around, you journey deeper and deeper until you arrive in the realm of Alfheim. So we're going to go and take a little 5-minute break and then bring you guys into a different realm.
Yeah, I think I was expecting to be in Alfheim today. I was like so sure we were gonna go do the grave.
I bet Joey was too.
Peter's like, I had my question ready. Fuck
I will
all
say I
of
don't have a
you."
map of Alfheim because I did not expect you to go there today. So
Good
Alfheim is
news.
currently mapless.
If you just go to the left and then talk the guard to take the bulb straight up, you'll be in Ale, so you're good.
To be fair, we didn't have a map of Ragnasgard either or whatever. So
Yeah,
That's true.
okay.
That's fair.
That's true.
Being
all right.
mapless means that we'll have less places to go, which is good for you, Joe.
True. It's
Oh
good
no,
for
I'll get you a map. It
Less
just won't have one
places, less
today.
Oh, I'm making a map.
Yeah, that'll be a map.
Don't you worry about it.
All right, go get
It's a
yourselves refill
challenge.
your drinks, use the loo, etc., and we'll be back in 5.
baby.
All right, be back, chat. Okay, chat, we'll be coming up in just 2 secs.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
It's true that everything should just be based on the IGN review score system.
True.
It makes it so much easier to understand. 7, it was garbage.
It narrows the bad
10,
so much.
amazing.
People complain about it, but it narrows the bad stuff down so well. In that if something's a 3, you're like, what the
The fuck? Yeah.
What the fuck did this shit do
To get a 3.
to get a fucking 3?
So true.
Don't worry, we weren't talking about Mistletoe being a 3, Joe.
That's
You're
okay.
fine.
It's a 3.
You're safe.
No
It's
map.
okay. It's a
That's a 3, my
Yeah.
guy. No map.
I don't know, it's maybe a 5. I'll give it a 5
Alfheim's a
on
3, no map. The
no map, it's a 3.
So coming back into things, as you've kind of stepped through into what is kind of like the spiral ends, and you'd see that as you're kind of being pulled outwards, you can feel the difference. Almost like air being pushed behind you. A pressure that doesn't allow you to enter it, but it stops just at the edge of the roots. You see like a couple of the dark elves at the back kind of stumble forward as the air pressure pushes them out. It is pitch dark. So those of you without dark vision can barely see a thing down here.
Oh, yeah, baby. Human.
Alfheim on the lower section, below the trees, is a darkened land for miles and miles. The trees themselves, for those who can see the trunks, are anywhere up to 90 feet wide. They are the tallest trees. You are an ant next to an oak. As you see, they grow massive and massive, high up into the sky. You have to arc your head all the way back to even see the bottoms of the leaves. No light really escapes down here into the dark lands. Some bulbs are set up though, almost like lanterns across a road. But the road seems mostly just to meander off into the woodlands. They let out a dim light, very soft light. You see a lot of the dark elves nearby, calm as they kind of return into their home.
While we're on this path,
This is
walking towards the destination we're all kind of aware of with the rest of the group, does Will be see any like animals, any creatures, any small like bird creatures specifically, anything like that?
You'd be able to find some nocturnal creatures down here. Definitely.
If there's one that's like within reach where he doesn't have to go off the beaten path because he knows he was told not to do that,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't want to do anything stupid. I do want to cast Animal Messenger to try to send an animal up to Ale directly to Balder. Willoughby knows he's not very good at talking to people. He's going to try to circumvent the bureaucratic bullshit of this.
He finds the cutest
right away.
animal he can to help it out.
You could definitely find a badger. Like there'll be a couple of badgers nearby. You see their eyes kind of glinting in the dark.
Are these special badges? Or are they normal badges?
They mostly look normal. They mostly look kind of like scattering, just kind of.
He'd walk up
forest.
to the most capable looking badger he can
Who
find.
looks the smartest?
And he's going to cast Animal Messenger on it. He wants to send a message to Balder and Ale that just says,
So,
Willoughby the Creastier, hello. I'm with my party. We're here to help with the explosion. Is there somewhere we can meet you?
Okay. You see the badger kind of bow its head and rushes off, scattering up a tree, climbing between the branches, moving up and up and up. The side road kind of scatters off. This one gets more lit as it kind of goes on. The bulbs get a bit brighter. The bulbs are kind of flower bulbs, by the way. There's stems with a bulb kind of glowing from within. You see the badger kind of disappear into the darkness and heading up the tree. heading towards Ale.
We'll be able to look over to the rest of the group, knowing that they just talked about communication.
So hopefully that little badger can send a message to Balder for us. We can skip some of the bullshit when we
That's
get
a-
up to Ale.
Good idea. I like it.
Just because I know you all have different things going on, can this is quite dark. You all seem to. I can't really see very well here. Is that a problem?
Oh,
Willoughby will cast dark vision
Eldritch
on
can
Gino.
do the thing.
I guess.
Yep. Whoa!
Eldritch
That's
would
the first
probably-
time I think I've ever seen or heard of anyone using the
Casting
dark
dark
vision
vision.
spell.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If I get that in RPG, I immediately sell the scroll.
Eldritch would probably light her thing.
Oh, that's
though,
true.
her torch,
Yeah, that's true.
'cause
Yeah.
There's enough of
Eldritch.
us that can't.
Human?
You would see if you did that, one of the dark elves would turn around and go,
Like no.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I assume she would put it out.
They don't want lights.
No firelights down here. You
Okay.
see some of the light elves scuttle off.
Magical lights
They
are
go off.
okay. 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 Bye bye.
Anything that is not going to draw too much attention.
Okay.
Draw too
Okay.
much attention from.
They all just kind of like laugh a little bit to themselves. Strangers who pass through here are always so naive. I'm guessing you're going to the top trees. Going to the lighthouse.
Yes.
Just
Is-
enjoy
Well-
your stay there. Leave the darkness
Oh.
to those of us who are capable within it.
Are they gatekeeping the darkness?
I think they are.
Aren't you worried about what's happened here?
Rumors mostly.
You didn't see the explosion yourself. You don't.
We were not here. You see a couple of them walk
But
off who are
you're
not associated.
outside.
with- Yes, we heard that darkness is encroaching. We were always spent our lives in darkness. It's no difference to us.
That's fair.
Just,
It's not darkness. It's a magical explosion that's corrupting people. There's a significant
changes people.
difference.
And who told you it's corrupting the people? The light elves? Of course they did.
I know.
It's freeing
you-
people.
But if you live here together, you don't really get
well-
along.
Get along with the light elves.
Oh, here we go. Okay, here's what I'll ask the plants. Don't worry. We'll talk to plants and animals about this. We'll get a
Yeah.
totally unbiased faction involved in this.
You've never gotten along, like even a long time ago.
Not since they stole the sun fruit, no.
Storm the sun fruit. Gosh. Well, look, I can't speak. I don't know the history or what's happened in this place, but I hope that wherever you go, I hope that what you say is true, and I hope that you are safe and that this darkness does not corrupt or cause problems. But if it does, I hope you will be careful.
It is not asked that you should be careful. You're here lighting torches, lighting up the way. Be sure to remain in the treetops, where things are most pleasant and safe.
Joe, this is a big, this is a forest. Yeah, you can't see,
it's
the horizon.
an
or
endless
anything,
forest,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so there's no, seeing the explosion in the distance from here. You'd have to be up
No.
on the top of the trees.
You have to
to
be
see
right on the top
something
of the trees and then even probably
Okay.
higher to look across, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Good luck. Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
stay here in Alfheim.
Thank you for the warning.
They turn and continue walking into the depths of the forest, away from the left road that you were told to follow.
No, I've been to Alfheim before. I don't remember them being so
Snotty.
snotty. Yes.
Did you come down to this part though, or were you up in the top?
Oh God, no! I never came down here. But that wasn't because I disliked the area. It's just because you can't really get a good view of things from down here. You know what I mean?
What's a sun fruit? Why'd
Would
they
Willoughby
steal
know
it?
that? Are you asking Willoughby?
Yeah. Or would it,
Can
if
you
not,
roll
if Lena
for
would
me,
know
or
it,
a
but I
nature
assume she
check, I
wouldn't.
guess, for that.
Yeah, roll a nature check.
That's a 9.
You probably heard it in passing when you were here, but it sounded like
Talk about it.
a special rare fruit.
Is this a fruit? I've never tried one.
I'm going to assume that if, there's this animosity between these two people, then it's probably more than just a
That
magic fruit. Yeah.
It might be really good.
To be clear, when I say I've been to Alfheim, I've been around the area. I've made maps of the general area. I was never very deep in the culture.
You didn't visit and
I
do
wasn't
research.
hanging out
to
with the
try to-
elves or anything.
Let me guess.
I was
You
walking
didn't.
in.
Yeah, you didn't have a lot of chit chat. You didn't try
I
to
was
make
popping
friends while you
in.
were
I was
here.
getting some parchment, getting some tools, and then leaving back to my own work.
Did you ask a single person's name anytime you've been to Alfheim ever?
I've barely ever asked a single person's name in my whole life. I didn't even ask any of your names. You just gave them to me.
It's true. It's true. I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm curious. Just one thing I want to ask.
That's okay. We're walking at the same time.
That's true. We are walking at the same time.
Always walking.
We're always walking at the same time. It sounds like when you were a person and you were this cartographer, you obviously enjoyed your own company. Did you ever really spend time around others, or did you prefer to kind of work alone?
I worked alone.
Is that how you prefer things? You prefer the solitude?
The solitude was nice. I mean, most people really look. I don't want to toot my own horn here. Objectively, one of the best cartographers.
No, you should be proud of it. Yes, yes. It sounds amazing.
Not many people could have kept up with me, and the couple that did ended up crying and running
What
back
you
to their
did?
mummies and daddies. Weeks into their apprenticeship, I might add.
Oh yeah, the apprentice is nice.
So you're a teacher as well. Wow.
Did you what was your signature thing like when you were doing the map and you had the ocean? You know how some people draw like a sea monster or something? What did you draw in the parts where there was nothing to make it look cool?
Nothing. I didn't need to make my maps look cool. They were objectively factual. They didn't need.
So
I
you would
didn't
just
need
have
some
like an open
fancy,
space?
whimsical bullshit to make them sell. They sold because they were the most accurate in the land.
You didn't even put like
Look,
a
I'm
tiny
sorry, I get
sea
upset
monster.
when I talk about maps. That's why I try not to talk about them in this group, because it seems like from the maps I've seen recently and the ones that many of you seem to carry now,
The
they've
study's
started to
gone
drop the
down.
ball a little.
Cartography just isn't what it
Sounds
used to be.
sounds like yes, the best cartographer out there suddenly vanished, left a gap in the market. It seems.
Do you when's the last time you made a map? You don't ever make them now?
I still have a couple maps on me. I mean, most of my greatest work was destroyed in a inferno of lava. But I have one. I spent some time at least trying to recreate from memory. I recreated a map of the stars while I was at the Grove by
That's
Yggdrasil.
really cool.
Could we see it sometime?
A seed sort of thing, and cast Druidcraft on it will project like the constellations
Oh,
around him.
Shit.
I've seen
Sort of
something
like
like
just the stars. I didn't have the opportunity to map anything on the ground while I was trapped at the base of the tree, but I could at least spend my time doing something I enjoyed.
this is cool. This is great. I've seen sort of say my father uses star maps to navigate, but never one like this. This is incredible.
Usually I don't need to pull it out because I've got most of it memorized because I've been staring at those exact stars for the last couple centuries, so...
Oh, well, I'm glad that you could show us at least. I'm excited to see it, even if it's one that you know like the back of your hand, I suppose. But it's beautiful. I think it's... I've never seen anything like it.
Well, thank you very much.
You, wandering down the pathway, you can see kind of the light elves up ahead of you, who had already kind of arrived at the station that leads up towards Ale. You can see at the base of it are these long extended flowers, similar to the ones which line the roads. You see this long stem all the way down that comes from the tallest of the trees, and its bulb opens at the bottom with translucent petals that come around it. A few light elf guards stand nearby. They've kind of built like a station around here. You can see there's kind of druid-crafted wooden battle stations that kind of line the side of it. And various kind of little points of just almost like windows up this particular tree with light emanating as it goes down, but very dimmed light again. Military outposts and balconies that line up this tree. But these long stems open up and you can see some of the light elves as suddenly the bulb closes around them and then lifts them up. Like a lift, an elevator, all the way into the sky. You hear the sound as another one comes down, opens up its petals. A couple of the guards say, "All right."
Okay.
Yeah.
Get
Guess
into
I'll
the
just-
bulb.
I did say to go in the bulb.
During all this, Wilby is very casual, like in his like, oh, get on the thing. He's been here, but he not necessarily like
Bulb
been
lifts.
here before, but he's been in this exact kind of format situation before.
The feeling of the leaf feels almost paper thin. And it's kind of one of those feelings of, will this actually hold us? And when it kind of grabs under, you feel it go and start bringing you up. But the ground does feel hard. The leaves kind of fold over each other several times and hook under. And the petals and the bulb extends upwards, higher and higher into the sky, until you get closer. And it seems to go on for a good mile. Probably about 15 minutes or so pass before it ever reaches the top. But when it does, you see the leaves kind of brushing against the outside, blocking your view for a moment. Not that you could see much anyway out in the darkness. The leaves pass for another couple of minutes before a massive shell of light bursts against the bubble. And as you pull up and break into the treetops, you see a persistent sunrise and sunset almost in tandem. Just a beautiful kind of orange glow. Not the sun itself, more like the way in which the sky just transforms with it. You see the beautiful radiant light that just glistens all across the tops of the trees. Various towns established on them. Some trees grow a little taller, almost building smaller woodlands on top of the woodlands. But the homes of the light elves are built all on the tops of the trees. Roll perception checks if you like.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
17.
11.
15.
Nat 2026.
Hey.
Whoa.
Draven,
That's
you're the
a
only
fucking
one to see
ticket.
it.
What do my damn clear eyes see?
Miles of beautiful trees that everyone's looking at. Various civilizations, some portions of it where the lives might have their own issues and their own woodlands and whatnot. But there, in the vast distance, before the general trunk that you can see of Yggdrasil now, much more visible than it is on Midgard. Midgard being at the kind of lower tiers of the tree itself. You can see the great trunk of Yggdrasil. Everyone can see this part in the distance. Fall into the sky past the clouds. Almost like you're just on an extra branch coming out of the tree. The tree itself looks massive, like when you look up at the moon in the sky. But if it was to be stretched down in the distance all the way from the horizon, the ground of the horizon up into the sky. But Draven, you notice something else. Miles into the distance. Maybe a couple of trees. Clearly a darkness. Just a shadow in the distance. Very, very slight. That must be where the darkness hails from. But as the bulb
point it
reaches
out.
up, you can see equal to what is essentially a massive, few mile long bulb itself, similar to what was below. But the entirety of this town is built on this great flower bed. The petals themselves extend outwards with homes woven from the grasslands. The stems which kind of come off hang all these almost like hanging buildings, like cradles, like egg-shaped cradles, which have all the homes of these elves that hang between them. Some live on these kind of smaller structures that are embedded onto the petals themselves. But it almost all stretches in, petal going down and down into the bigger buildings right in the center of the flower. This massive flower could have probably housed several hundred, if not probably closer to a few thousand people, with all of the different families. One of the light elves steps right up towards all of you as you bulb kind of releases you and lands you on this platform that sticks out. He steps over. Balder has requested
your presence. Willoughby and companions.
He
Message
told me he was a
received.
cool guy.
If you'd like to follow me. Begins walking
Of
through
course.
the flower. You can see, as you pass by, you see the various shops opening up. Almost like the actual canopy houses almost lower down and open up into shops. And at night, they obviously draw up and kind of go into their little kind of home position. So you see a few hanging down as people kind of venture onto them. Light elves fly for the most part. A lot of them are kind of flittering with their wings, flying between shop to shop. So it's kind of a town designed specifically for them. It's not very convenient for anyone who's walking. A lot of the major towns seem to be on the tops of petals, which you'd have to climb up to reach. But they pass you all the way through. You can see where almost all of the where the kind of bloom of the flower itself is, where the center of the flower, where the pollen kind of pulls out. You can see in those stems they built a larger building, in itself kind of half of an egg shape, curling upwards like a wicker basket almost. And you'd see kind of a lot of people have set up stations outside of that room, almost like moved tables and chairs outside of that, and they're working outside, talking to one another. And the guard just walks you straight past and walks you up to one of the great doors, entering. And he pushes aside one of the flowers. Open the door. He says, Balder is alone, currently, and has taken the capital station as his home of residence. Would like to go in and meet him.
But
You see the
yes,
badger
I mean,
scutter out past you.
Wilby will take a. If Wilby has any kind of like ration or something that a badger would eat, he'd pull it out and like toss it to the badger.
So he'd take it,
good job.
munches it down and rushes off.
Payment received.
See on its back as well, has a little pouch, and it's filled with all of these kind of little like twisting flowers that almost have like fruit spawn across all of them as it rushes away. Inside is a series of kind of tiered seating areas, almost like this is a council room. And you can see just in the center a simple like a rolled up bedroll has kind of been unrolled in the center, a small little table there, a chair, almost like a humble workstation right in the center. And standing beside it is the first time you've seen a god in its full valiance. Balder has a beautiful kind of sheen across his brown skin. You can see he has blonde and black hair in tandem that kind of merge together, almost like it should be highlighted, but you can see where it kind of stretches out and kind of waves together. It's short and curls down to the back of his neck, brushed backwards. He has both a very clean look to him, but also quite a rough and ready look, almost merged, like it's a forced 5 o'clock shadow, with kind of bits of red at the bottom of his beard, as is his relation to Thor. The older brother of Thor kind of stands there in beautiful greens and outfits that have clearly come from Alfheim. You can see they're almost been designed for the kind of the shape of light elves. And you can see it almost flows like robes off of him. Some parts kind of translucent, showing bits of his skin, but almost like a netting. And he just stands there, probably the most beautiful person you've all seen. But in a way that is very natural and just easy coming on his eyes. You see he has these great, beautiful green eyes as he turns his head towards all of you. Stands at an average height. He smiles across. Ah, Willoughby. It's good to see you, my friend.
Balder, it's good to see you too.
It was kind what you did for our little friend there. I gave him some of his favorites, but very kind what you did. And your companions, are they...
Yes, these are some companions I've met on my travels over the last couple of months. This is Draven, Lena, Juno, and Eldred.
I must first address you that the humble nature of the light elves is to give this entire council room to me, but honestly, I would prefer you don't need to bow. None of that. You can speak to me as freely as you speak to a neighbor. One that you'd like, preferably. But welcome, Draven. Did you say?
Wow.
Draven from Mesogaya.
Draven.
Draven it is. Next question to you, Elena. And where do you hail from?
Here and there.
We all have our secrets, and trust me, I have many a family that have many more, so I understand the need for caution.
You do.
Looks towards you, Juno. And yourself?
Juno Jocasta, also of Mesogaya. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Balder.
Balder, sorry, I should introduce myself. I'm Balder, son of Odin, first son of Odin.
Juno kind of like nervously laugh, like, yes, yes, you are, yes, of course.
When you like nervously laugh, can Willoughby do an insight check to see if this is like a reaction of someone this is the first time they've ever met a god before?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can roll.
That's 20.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's just like completely like not being deceptive, just like it's not that she's like starstruck, but Juno, you definitely, yeah, like you can tell that this is the first time Juno's met a god and is like not really sure how to behave or what to do or what to say. But she's not like starstruck or like bewildered by him, just sort of like, oh, this is an awkward situation, I don't really know what to do.
Eldred, you notice, is kind of in her own world right now. Is kind of like glaring around, and he kind of acknowledges it by just nodding. I'll introduce myself to her when she is present. Well, it's good to see you again, Willoughby. How are you feeling?
Well, about as good as I can be feeling. Finding out a couple of weeks ago that I'm dying. As things turns out, I've been trapped in Ethela for the last couple decades.
From what I've heard, it's not the worst place to be trapped in.
Better than here in some regards, to be frank.
And frank you may be. Well, hopefully we can reverse that. Get you back right in reign. For the rest of you, welcome. It was strange to welcome you to someone else's home, but welcome to Ale. It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
It's beautiful.
It is. The Light Elves and the Dark Elves pride themselves on beauty, as much as they don't often like to admit it to one another. I see why.
Yeah, they seem to really not get along, huh?
It is an understandable grievance between them.
Is it the sun fruit?
Yes, you're well accustomed to it then.
No, I have no idea what it is. It's just someone said they were mad because the Light Elves took the sun fruit.
It is a conflict that has spanned generations and generations, and there was a fruit capable of bringing great beauty to oneself when feasted upon. It is believed that all Light Elves were once Dark Elves, and the discovery of the first sun fruit actually was the reason that they became these far more colourful and treetop being. So conflict naturally occurs when they fight over the sun fruits and what their reasoning for using them is. A lot of the Dark Elves believe it is better to let them spoil and feed the crops around, as Light Elves like to feast upon them, to maintain their beauty.
Interesting.
Such is the conflict. But
Beauty is one of those very deep and subjective matters that we'll never see two sides agree.
unfortunately, yes, and unfortunately far too common here, in our home of stories and pleasantries. But please, are you hungry? Thirsty?
I suppose I could. I don't
Don't.
know about the rest.
Yeah,
but
I like snacking. I'm always ready for a little bit of a snack.
Of course, anything
What you
need.
got?
Well, anything you need. The Light Elves have been very, very generous. They can.
Is there any meat?
They're on meat. Yeah.
Thank the gods.
Yes, that's right.
There's
that
no need to
mushroom
do that.
place
Thank the
really.
Light Elves.
Thank the light elves.
I do often. I'll go for some food.
Do you Do you stay here often? Do you like to come to Alfheim to Ale a lot?
Frey doesn't like me visiting. He's
Oh.
possessive over his territory, believes it's a conflict between the Aesir and the Vanir. Frey is the god of Alfheim, was given the control of it by Odin.
Ah.
He's been very possessive over it. Sometimes I would like to come and pay my visit to both the Dark Elves and the Light Elves as often as I can, but he does not allow that to really occur. Currently, though,
But-
he's not as focused and rather neglectful of his duty here. And quite frankly, I felt the need that I should involve myself.
So, if I may, so it sounds like you are here. He does not know that you are here.
He's not currently aware, and I do imagine he will find out, but I'll make it up to him.
So is Frey. Are they not aware of the, you know?
Yeah, like they're
Incident.
He has been
explosion? What
informed.
is?
However, Frey has been known to be a little less reactionary. He's more of a, after the glass is spilled, clean it up, as opposed to during the spilling, catch it.
Have
Like-
you been organizing the evacuations then? What's been your duty here?
I wanted to make sure that everyone was well, that it didn't spread elsewhere, first of all. I didn't want to make a wide panic, but we do wish to evacuate if we can. The thing is that
You might not be able to.
not that. It is more. This is not a simple matter of a disease spreading through a populace of people with like-minded interests believing that it is a problem. The reality is that the majority of light elves still do not see it as a problem. Dark elves are split on the matter. Some believe that actually it is a boon, a benefit.
But
How?
outside, they said that if a light elf went in, it was like killing them, and if the dark elves went in,
Yes.
it was making them.
It is true, but the darkness is not spreading erratically. It is slow. It is more, and I do not mean to insult them when I say this, perhaps the lack of humility from the Light Elves' perspective.
They are quite vain or arrogant in a sense. They think that it will not affect them, perhaps.
It comes with beauty. I've,
Hmm.
as someone who's quite experienced and once being a bit more arrogant than I care to admit, they are currently going through the stage of denial, I should say. But
We're all like, oh, got it.
Yep.
we have time.
Are you aware of any leads regarding what?
Yeah, like what
Caused
caused
this?
it?
Yes.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Oh,
If you've not dealt with it, I'm going to assume it's no simple matter. If it was, you would have done so already, I imagine.
To deal with it would mean to involve myself in a greater thing than I can. I am not really meant to be here in Alfheim.
Ah.
So it's not that you couldn't take care of it. Like, it's not that it's beyond your ability, it's that you shouldn't take care of it because you're not supposed to be here.
Frey has always been fated to be the protector and keeper of Alfheim. The reason it remains beautiful remains the reason it remains safe. In truth, as the fates shall allow it, he will save it. I have confidence in that, or they will save themselves. I'm just here to help keep everyone.
Good question from Gabe. Wasn't Balder the one that told us that the fates were basically
No, that was
No,
bragging.
that
That's
was
braggy.
braggy? Okay.
That was a
Yeah.
bard
Mimir.
named Bragging.
Yeah.
So Gabe wants to know, should we tell him that fate-
Well, we've been warned
I-
against
if it-
letting them know,
Yeah.
right?
Considering Wilby's the only one that actually knows Balder in like any kind of personal sense, I'm kind of engaging as a player right now. If
Okay.
I want to do that,
Oh,
just so
cool.
all of you are.
Yeah, and I think Juno and that would be on the assumption that no, we are not telling any gods about like the fate stuff, like basically. But there is a mental kind of
kinda
yikes
above
space.
board want to see how this kind of
Yeah.
arc goes before I go.
Cool.
Hey, here's all of this shit that directly involves you.
on board. Gabe wanted to know so I could inform Draven's decisions,
Yes.
and that helps me.
That's
So-
my above board analysis of this.
Awesome.
If so, you can't intervene. Can you tell us what started it, where it like originated, etc.?
I can tell you that it was one dark elf.
One dark elf. Interesting.
It seems to be
The-
emanating from a person.
And that person is still alive.
I don't know.
Oh shit.
All we know
And
is
it's-
that people saw one of the dark elves lean down, dig a hole into the ground, put something there, and then darkness shot all around him.
A couple weeks ago.
Can I make a religion
Yes.
check? See if that sounds familiar to any mythology or
Sure.
story that is. Yeah. Just pure curiosity. Nat 20 for a 23.
Hey!
I was gonna say,
what?
like, huddling around and helping, but you don't need it.
That's 2 Nat 20s in a row. Let's go. Fire.
Roll something else. Come on.
It doesn't seem to follow anything.
Yeah.
It's essentially it during kind of any story of Alfheim, it's usually seen as a pretty safe realm. The only time it really ever went through conflict is during Ragnarok, very briefly. But for the most part, there is no story about a darkness in Alfheim. In fact, most of the stories neglect to mention the Dark Elves as much as they mention the light. Even stories getting confused thinking the Dark Elves are the same as the Dwarves, as both like to spend most of the time in the darkness. Alfheim has always just been seen as the safe, beautiful realm which conflict goes there to die off, never to start. Kind of a bias stories towards Alfheim.
Yeah. Interesting.
One thing. Sorry,
Go
Lene.
ahead.
Yeah, when we were making our way up here, there was a group of dark elves that we encountered, who were a little unpleasant, but they said something along the lines of that others had been freed or chosen or something like that. Saying that there were rumors that they believe that the light elves have made up this idea of corruption, but
Right.
there was something they mentioned which was curious, something about being chosen or being freed or something like that by the darkness, I think.
It is likely all to stem from this endless conflict of the Sun Food, really. The idea that perhaps the Light Elves lord over their beauty. In truth, the Dark Elves are equally as beautiful. Saturation doesn't make for a lack of beauty. Their wings, their culture, everything they perform is beyond beauty you've ever seen before. They might believe that this has some form of... There's always been this literal looking down of the Dark Elves from the Light Elves as they see them from their treetops. And perhaps this is something that gives them a little bit more of a identity. But in truth, the Dark Elves are the ones to be respected the most. They live in some of the most dangerous lands in Alfheim, perhaps even in the Nine Realms, beneath the treetops where great creatures roam. Perhaps it is misunderstanding, but all I know is that this has caused turmoil, and there have been deaths, and I can't see goodness coming from mass death, ever.
Do you know anything about the elf it originated from? Like if people saw him bury something, but
No.
it didn't explode right away because they could get away and say, hey, we saw that the guy bury something?
I, in truth, tried to cheat. I asked my father if he had known anything. He ignored me several times, but eventually, when I spoke to him, he told me that he has no
idea. And though I shouldn't be sharing your father's lack of wisdom, as it so uncommonly comes up, it does put a worry on me that even if my father does not know who that is, then it's strangely not a foretold story. Meaning that, to find out who it is, I suppose, you'd have to use your wits, your eyes, your real senses, not that of the sixth.
How, do you know how far it has spread, like, from the original point?
Yes.
And more specifically, how fast is it spreading
Yeah.
from its original point?
I would say we have, if it carries on spreading the way it does, probably months.
Okay.
It is currently a 2-mile radius.
People were describing it as having a suction. It almost
Yeah, like
pulls
if you got
into
close,
it.
you got pulled in.
How strong is this pull? How close do you have to be before it's
Some of those
pulling
who
you
reported
in?
it saw it from maybe 60, 70 feet away. Saw it pulling some that it was running away from it, like a cloud of ash.
Does it... I'm sorry. Does it pull, like, I don't know, just people or creatures? Or is it like everything, like a tree gets sucked in or a house gets
Seems to
sucked
be
in?
everything.
Like, oh shit, okay.
And anyone that's coming out of it is changed and, while still cognizant, is much more aggressive.
Yes.
Were you able to apprehend anyone who came out and, like...
I have not
Like-
tried, nor have the lighthouse. The lighthouse had a brief conflict with a few that attacked one of the local civilizations up there, a town. They spoke of it freeing their mind, of a new identity, a new power, something to fight back with. But the reality is that the wars of Light Elves and Dark Elves have been more petty squabbles, a few deaths here and there, but no onslaught. So to fight back would assume that the Light Elves even fight in the first place.
Are there any of those survivors left? Like, they came back, they're like, we're freed, we feel great now. And then they stayed a prisoner?
The ones who came from the darkness, they were all killed
Because
because they attacked in full force.
okay.
Well,
Coordinated?
first-
Or like they just were...
Like an angry
Does
storm
this
of
seem,
bees.
yes, does this seem organized?
Yeah.
Hard to say. There have not been enough conflicts yet.
Well, it sounds like our first step then is to be able to find the opportunity to speak to someone that's
Yeah.
actually
See
been
it and-
corrupted by this.
Or find out who this person who buried it, who started it was,
Is-
if anybody
I
knows
have, I
them.
have
or...
some ideas. I have
Will it
some-
be or actually maybe Draven too. Like, I'm wondering, I'm assuming it's like magic darkness and I can't just stand 70 feet away where I'm not get 80 feet away, so don't get pulled in and like look and see stuff. Like, is there, do either of you, can you do anything like to see?
I can't do anything to penetrate a darkness like that. What I can do is speak to animals, and more specifically, more recently, I'm more confident in this. Plants? I may
see
be able
what
to
they
get
said,
some
right?
kind of explanation as to what was put in the ground.
Oh,
There.
shit, good point.
Specifically, if I speak to plants, they may be able to elaborate what happened in that dirt.
I can see through the darkness, whether it is magical or otherwise.
That's good. Because you could at least look in and be like, it looks pleasant, or it looks full of scary shit.
Well,
I have some curiosity concerns if the Dark Elves are seeing it as a boon and losing some of their inhibitions. It makes me worry. It is something akin to what we experienced with Ragnar. but
Yeah, like
more controlled.
It definitely seems like something we need to perhaps speak to nearby communities by this explosion.
I'm also curious and would like to at least put the consideration this may have been a gift from someone to create a feral army of dark elves.
yeah, I was.
It
just
is certainly
thinking
one-
about what is it? That's what how did he get it?
That's exactly it, yes.
Yes,
Where
and
did this object come from? Who was this person? Why did they do it? Is it to create an army?
Well,
was it done
First
in
step seems to be to
kindness?
find out where he came from.
Hmm.
Find out
Agreed.
who it is, and that's something that I, at the very least, can confidently say I can find.
Okay, good.
Good.
And then we can go from there with the specifics. But the more time we waste, the larger it gets.
Okay.
Right.
Aye.
No, I'm happy to head there. Yes, indeed.
Are you
I'm gonna
sure?
look at Balder.
You're taking on a lot of pressure on yourselves, a lot of responsibility that is not yours. Are you certain you want to do this?
Well,
Yeah.
Yes, this is what I do.
yes.
Well, me, I can speak for
all I
me.
have to ask in return for this, Balder, is if at any point Yggdrasil somehow gets its dirty roots over me again and pulls me back to that base of that tree, you, I don't know, put in a good word for me and get me back out of there again. I don't know if I can get a favor from a god for that, but
My
I have
friend,
no interest in.
I will work whatever ties I can to make sure that whatever fate you end up with, you are in a happier place. And I'm sorry that I did not see it sooner.
Wilby will nod kind of solemnly and take that to heart and look to the others.
I know that you said you can't intervene directly, right? Is there, I don't know, do you have any advice? Is there anything you think we're missing that you could tell us that would help? That wouldn't circumvent what you're trying to not do?
I'll tell you this. Don't judge the Dark Elves any differently as to how you judge the Light Elves.
Of course.
In a time of very little open conflict, where bloodshed is uncommon, outside of that of battling with beasts and creatures that you fend your home with. Something to throw such disarray into their minds. Both sides are scared and lost.
Mm.
They will act irrational. They will act against their nature, because fear does that. If you can avoid as many casualties of them, it will be appreciated by all. And if the darkness turns your hearts, look to each other to try and keep them in the light.
I feel like it'd be better to say, if corruption sways your heart, seek purity, because you're the one who said the darkness isn't a problem.
It's not. You are correct. Final words in mind. Well, I'll be here if you need anything. And if my absence ever has to come, it is merely because I would not wish to overstep my place from Frey. I will leave the moment he enters, but let us hope that it is only I that you're dealing with.
Is there any way that you could send us a message if that were to happen?
Of course.
So we know?
Do you have a preferable friend?
The badger? That badger seemed helpful.
That badger will do.
You did a good job.
Of course. Glistenberries, by the way, his favorite. It's always good to ask.
Understood.
Find everyone's favorite food. Right. Well, good luck to each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Balder goes back to looking across essentially kind of almost like a very miniature grown map he's made of the area, and begins kind of picking out the trees which have fallen, almost like bad weeds, with a kind of a sadness across his face, and
I
leaves you.
whisper to Willoughby, is that a good map?
It's not the best.
It's not the best, no.
All right.
Leaving his chamber
Yeah.
with the darkness in sight and a mission in mind. That's where we'll end tonight's episode. The hunting to save
Interesting.
Alfheim.
Look, all I'm gonna say is that at no point in any session of D&D that we've been playing in this campaign have we gotten lost, and there's a fucking reason for that. All right, you know what I mean? There's a fucking reason behind the scenes that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
God,
Everybody
how's
loves Balder.
Willoughby's
He
back
makes shitty
doing?
maps, though.
Yeah. How's Willoughby's back? He's just carrying this team the whole fucking way.
Wait.
Balder knows too much.
It's
Balder knows too much.
Balder knows.
Look at this
We're gonna
man.
have to take
Look
him
at the
out.
suspicion on this man.
Dude, you can't
We
be
meet one
suspicious of the
nice god.
coolest guy. We meet the first nice god, and you're like, this guy's fucking.
Because I
this
know
guy's
what
fucking
Joe
soulful
knows.
enough.
Balder knows too much. Balder too nice.
Well, maybe
Look, like I
maybe
said, we're
this
not gonna
world's
tell him
Balder's
anything
nice.
until we're done with this whole situation.
Pokes head
See
back
how
in.
stuff
Balder, are you
plays
just?
out.
Why are you so weirdly nice? It's creepy.
We established as a group with communication in mind
Sure.
that we're not gonna talk about anything till we finish this job.
Just this one last job.
Wow, that
One
is
last job.
job.
And
Well,
we're clear.
let's go through and we'll do a little shout outs and finish up tonight's episode. But let's start ahead with Gabe.
Hey, Gabe Hicks, Gabe James, Gabe James Games across all platforms. Damn, that is hard. I'm running a Kickstarter. We are like $8,000 from 100K.
What?
Wild. It is surging. We still have 20 days left. Ads are
wow.
going out. It's spite now. Someone tried to tell me how much it was gonna make, and they were wrong. So
Oh
now
no,
it's-
you got
really?
beat that now for
Yeah,
sure.
that's so
Yeah.
good. That's so
now it's,
good.
they were like, "Nah, you're only gonna make this much." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, let's see how much I have.
Cool, you'd be wrong. That's good for you.
That's
So
amazing.
I will spend more than I will make to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's totally.
You should
what I
get
would
that
do.
quote and put it in the back of the book.
Joe, don't tempt me.
That's your next stretch goal.
Anonymous,
Yeah.
and they'll know.
Yeah, they'll know.
Sweet
yeah.
stretch goal.
Pinned to my tweet. That's basically me.
LinkedIn chat.
Brizzy is
Thanks, Sarah.
Brizzy couldn't make it today. She's off to Ren Fair, but usually you can find her over on Brizzy Voices on pretty much everything. She plays in D&D on Mondays on a podcast, and otherwise streams a bunch of
Cast
variety
Party.
games. Cast Party is the name, and
She has a cute puppy.
she
She's
has a
taken
cute
care
puppy.
of.
and it is almost to the point where Ragnarok is coming out, which is the next God of War game. She does voice some characters in it, so check out God of War Ragnarok. It's like my most anticipated game.
I bet you are. Look, you little excited boy. Look at
Yeah,
him.
I'm a little excited, boy. It's gonna be so good, dude. All of the early reads. Tomato.
Huh?
Are you a little excited, boy, Tomato? Are you? Come
A little
on, just be a
excited
little bit
boy.
excited. Come on.
I'm a little excited, boy. Alright?
I'm a little excited boy.
Oh, a little excited, boy.
Excited, boy.
Twitch.tv/tomato. He's never gonna shout himself out. Go and watch him.
Never.
He's a
Dude,
Minecraft
you're
streamer.
gonna be so stun locked the day I do it, though.
I
aren't
know.
you? Like the second I
I'm
fucking
gonna end the
actually
stream
do
right there. He
Just
plays
hit the end stream
Minecraft.
button.
He's a Minecraft streamer, professional
Yeah,
Minecraft streamer.
He's Minecraft pro.
It's true. It's
He
true.
made a
He's-
pokey hand the other day. I saw
Yeah,
it.
that extending hand thing was
Genius.
weird for my brain.
Yeah, I'm so sad I can't make that knock people back even farther. I just want to fucking knock people out of the map.
Already knocked
It was
them back
interesting
like
watching
30
you
blocks.
knock people into a hole to test continuously. I hate how often I'm in his streams at this point.
It's
You
fucking
guys are
rad.
best friends IRL now, man.
I'm
I
glad
can
to
see
know
it now.
that quietly behind the scenes there's a chance at a point that Gabe from my D&D sessions may be inside of my stream.
Because you stream during the day, so I'll put it on while I'm working, and then I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
The thing is, you think a stream's gonna be good background noise, and then you're like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about? And then you get distracted because you're like, now I gotta click it and see.
I pull it up
That's
and he's
actually like a
knocking
real
people
thing.
into a hole that's like 100 feet deep, and I'm like, I have so
You
many
never
questions.
want a fucking background noise stream to be like the thing where you're like, wait, what the fuck?
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
did
The
they
distracting
just
It's
say?
stream.
bad.
Huh?
True. It's true. OG.
What's up, Molgy? I'm not an excited little boy. I'm sorry.
You could be.
I really,
could've,
I
if
you
could
wanted
be.
to be.
You
I
chose.
could.
Moment is now to
But
get there.
that
Just
is my
that.
goal. It's, you know what? It's good to have achievable goals, and this is my goal. I feel like at some point I will be an
You
excited
have a
little boy.
whole week from now
Yeah,
until
next week I expect
session
it.
to get there.
I do. I have this
Find
moment
something.
every time that Joe gets to Tomato, and he's like, all right, Tomato, let's do your shout out. And because I know that at some point Tomato will play the ultimate prank and shout himself out, I focus on Joe so that when Tomato says it, I can watch Joe's head just totally explode. But then what all it's doing really is like pranking me, because then I'm just watching Joe and then Tomato doesn't do it. And I'm like, well, fuck, now I just wasted that whole time.
Yeah, I don't expect
I don't know. Maybe I've not noticed, but it's always a random order at which Joe pulls people
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah, now we started going like, I'm gonna go here. I don't know. That I
So
don't.
it's like
Yeah.
it's
This
hard.
is the funnest part
It
of
is
my
difficult.
day, is deciding the order of
Plan
shouts.
it.
Mark.
Hello. What do I do? D&D show called High Rollers D&D. It's on Sundays, 5 p.m. UK time, just before Godforge. Sunday D&D. You should watch my show, and then you watch Joe's show, and then you have a good time. And that's it. I don't really have anything else. I can't think of anything else right now to talk about
Sherlock
too much.
Holmes
So.
with an underscore.
Oh yeah, Sherlock Holmes. There's an underscore in there somewhere.
Yeah, middle at the
it's either
end.
at the beginning,
Put it wherever.
in the middle, or not at all. And that's pretty much how all my social media handles work. And that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, like Mark said, you can find me on this channel, and on Sundays we stream a show called Godforged. We are in the kind of the final acts of Godforged, similar to Mark.
Yeah.
Line up pretty well. So if you like really high-end D&D, Mark show. If you like just before that really, really high-end D, like 15 level.
We're there now, dude. I don't know.
You
I
guys
think
are
we're-
pretty
I think
there,
we're
yeah.
there now.
You're like
What
level
level?
16.
What level is it? 15.
We're 16 now, aren't we?
Oh yeah, you're only 2 levels behind
Yes.
High Rollers.
We're
so-
16.
I think
Yeah.
so, yes.
I think we're 16.
Yeah.
Or don't you want us to catch up to them?
16,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of our party members is 17, and that means that's the bar. So we're at
Yeah,
17
that's true.
level.
So you pulled a card from the deck of many things. So yeah, come by on that. We left off on a pretty big cliffhanger a couple of weeks ago, and we're back this week, so that'll be pretty fun. Otherwise, there is a Discord. You can go on there and you can talk about the episode, throw some theories down. It's always fun to read the theories, post some fan art, whatever you want to do. And also a Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes stuff like the GM notes or some of the monsters and designs and whatnot, and little stories from the world. I write up a lot of fables on there. So go and check all that out. Otherwise, check everyone out here. Thank you everyone for playing. We'll be back next week for episode 21. We'll see you guys there. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.